Chapter 104. You. Did you refine the profound frost spirit water? The frozen woman looked at Yi Chen-feng, whose strength had soared by leaps and bounds, and asked through a voice transmission. In order to subdue the profound frost spiritual water, she had narrowly escaped death, and had even been trapped here for several months. However, she had never dreamed that all of her efforts would become a wedding dress for someone else, and that person's strength was still so weak. Yes, the profound frost spirit water has merged with me. Yi Chen-feng knew he couldn't hide this matter, so he nodded and looked at the frozen woman warily. Although they had just fought side by side, Yi Chen-feng knew the value of the profound frost spirit water. He was secretly on guard against the frozen woman suddenly attacking him and snatching the profound frost spirit water that was swallowed by the chaos divine wood. Do you know how much I paid in order to subdue the profound frost spirit water? The eye-sealed woman said softly as she looked at Yi Chen-feng with a burning gaze. I know, and I didn't want to snatch the profound frost spirit water from you. But in the end, the profound frost spirit water merged with me. Perhaps its ownership is predestined. Yi Chen-feng nodded and deliberately said, many cultivators believed in karma and paid attention to opportunities. So Yi Chen-feng deliberately said that the profound frost spirit water was his opportunity to make the frozen woman retreat. Predestined? Is the profound frost spirit water really not destined to belong to me? The frozen woman had been trapped in the profound beast master realm for many years and had been unable to take the final step to become a peerless king of the Duhan continent. The profound frost spirit water was a great opportunity for her to break through. She had a feeling that if she refined the profound frost spirit water, there was a great possibility that she could take the final step and break through to the reverse beast master realm. But now this opportunity had passed her by. Although she was unwilling, there was nothing she could do. Screech, just as the frozen woman was in distress, and Yi Chen-feng was continuously thinking of a way to escape, suddenly, a series of bone-chilling cries of ghosts rang out, passing through the bone-chilling water into their ears. Not good. It's that iceberg snow demon. It actually escaped. The frozen woman's expression changed drastically when she heard the ghostly cries. If she was in her peak condition, she naturally wouldn't be afraid of the iceberg snow demon. But now, after forcefully using her secret technique, her body was extremely weak. She could only use 10% of her full strength at most. She was no match for the iceberg snow demon. What is this iceberg snow demon? Yi Chen-feng quickly asked when he saw the frozen woman's expression change. The iceberg snow demon is the guardian of the profound frost spirit water. It is equivalent to a level 3 or 4 mystic beast sect expert. It is very difficult to kill. A few months ago, I spent a lot of effort to trap it with an array pattern. But I didn't expect that it would sense that something had happened to the profound frost spirit water and forcefully break the array pattern. With my current strength, I'm definitely not a match for it. And you're even less of a match for it. The frozen woman said in a heavy tone. Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath and transmitted, no matter what, we have to take a gamble. Perhaps if we work together, we will have a chance to escape. All right. The frozen woman nodded. She knew that she had no choice but to take the risk and break out. This is for you. Yi Chen-feng took out a precious soul-returning pill from his chinquin bag and handed it to the frozen woman. Soul-returning pill? You actually have a soul-returning pill. Looking at the soul-returning pill that Yi Chen-feng handed over, the frozen woman revealed a surprised expression. The more she looked at Yi Chen-feng, the more she felt that he wasn't simple. After all, this kind of pill is rare on the market, and she only has 2 of them. Moreover, she used them earlier. The frozen woman swallowed the soul-returning pill and immediately felt a warm current being released in her body. It quickly recovered her almost overdrawn soul power. Let's go. Feeling her soul power recovering quickly, the frozen woman's heart calmed down. She quickly swam towards the ice pond with Yi Chen-feng. It's coming. When Yi Chen-feng and the frozen woman quickly approached the surface of the pond, the iceberg snow demon, whose entire body seemed to be made of ice, had no legs, clear facial features, and a pair of bull horns on its head, broke through the surface of the pond and drilled into it. It approached the two of them with a terrifying aura. Profound frost spirit water, freeze. As the iceberg snow demon approached, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the chaos divine wood to release the power of the profound frost spirit water. It poured out of his body and froze the water in front of him, forcibly sealing the iceberg snow demon in ice. The moment the iceberg snow demon was frozen, the frozen woman revealed a trace of bitterness in her heart. She didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng not only merged with the profound frost spirit water, but also could control it to attack. This made her mistakenly think that the profound frost spirit water had recognized Yi Chunfeng as its master. However, at this moment, she didn't have time to think. She held the Sun Moon Qinquan sword and slashed out an overlapping sword shadow. The sword broke the ice and slashed the iceberg snow demon's body, injuring it. Despicable humans, go to hell. Looking at its cracked chest, the iceberg snow demon spoke in human language and said with a murderous intent. Rays of cold light emerged from its body and shot towards Yi Chunfeng and the frozen woman like meteorites. Break! Looking at the rapidly approaching cold light, the frozen woman clenched her teeth and rushed up. With the help of the Sun Moon Qinquan sword's powerful attack power, she forcibly broke through the cold light. Puff! After tearing apart the iceberg snow demon's attack, the frozen woman's injury worsened. She spat out a mouthful of blood from her mouth and dyed the water red. Profound frost spirit water, freeze. Although Yi Chunfeng's strength was not what it used to be, and he could erupt with a strength close to 120,000 Jin, the iceberg snow demon was too terrifying. He didn't dare to fight it head-on. He could only control the profound frost spirit water to freeze the iceberg snow demon. Let's go! The moment the iceberg snow demon was sealed in ice, Yi Chunfeng and the woman with the ice seal shot out like two arrows. They flew past the iceberg snow demon and quickly approached the surface of the ice pool. Despicable humans, leave the profound frost spirit water behind. After being frozen by the profound frost spirit water, the iceberg snow demon was completely enraged. A suffocating power erupted from its body and shattered the ice. It quickly chased after the two of them. Peak sword strike. The iceberg snow demon was getting closer and closer. Yi Chunfeng immediately erupted with his strongest power and poured it into the coiling dragon-heavy sword. After being amplified by the runes, the sword slashed towards the iceberg snow demon across the frozen lake water. Kacha! The violently fluctuating lake water was split open by Yi Chunfeng's sword. The sword light that was filled with sword power, 120,000 Jin of strength, and the power of the profound frost spirit water ruthlessly slashed on the iceberg snow demon's body. It left a second sore mark on its chest and slowed down its speed. What a powerful attack! The frozen woman was very shocked at the power of Yi Chunfeng's sword strike. She felt that the power of Yi Chunfeng's sword strike was almost at the level of a level 6 Earth Beast General. Moreover, it was filled with the sword power that swordsmen yearn for even in their dreams. 100-leaf freeze. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng and the frozen woman were about to rush out of the lake, the iceberg snow demon released an endless amount of cold air that instantly penetrated the lake's surface and forcibly froze the two of them. Chapter 105. Indistinct sword art, indistinct blue clouds break. Her body was frozen by the terrifying cold air. The frozen woman made up her mind. Relying on the powerful recovery ability of the soul-returning pill, she once again used her strongest attack at all costs. A ray of indistinct sword energy instantly tore apart the ice that sealed her. With the power to destroy everything, it fiercely slashed towards the iceberg snow demon. Screech! Feeling the terrifying power of the indistinct blue clouds break, the iceberg snow demon gathered all the strength in its body to resist. When the two powerful forces collided, it immediately produced a terrifying recoil, constantly shattering the frozen pool water. Puff! Forcefully using the first move of the indistinct sword art had already aggravated her injuries. Now that she was hit by a powerful recoil, she could no longer hold on. All the meridians in her body were severely damaged. A large amount of blood seeped out of her body. She was on the verge of death. If she hadn't taken the soul-returning pill earlier, which continuously healed her injuries, this attack would have taken away half of her life. 120,000 pounds of strength break. When the frozen woman was seriously injured, Yi Chunfeng burst out with a powerful physical strength, breaking the ice that was full of cracks. He held the dying frozen woman in his arms, jumped out of the cold pool, and quickly ran outside. As long as he could escape from here, he could use the formation patterns outside to get rid of the iceberg snow demon's pursuit. Oh, damn human, you can't escape. The iceberg snow demon followed them out of the ice pool. Seeing Yi Chunfeng carrying the frozen woman into the dark cave, it roared angrily, turned into a white light, and chased after them. Profound, cold spirit water freeze. Rushing into the cave, Yi Chunfeng constantly controlled the profound, cold spirit water to freeze the cave, slowing down the iceberg snow demon's pursuit. About half an hour later, Yi Chunfeng carried the severely injured frozen woman out of the cave safely and came to the starry sky formation pattern. Go to the northeast. That is the life gate of the starry sky formation pattern. You can leave here directly. The frozen woman, who was trying to keep herself from fainting, reminded him weakly. Obviously, she was the one who had set up this forbidden area of the formation pattern. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and quickly ran towards the gate of life with her in his arms. Kiki, formation patterns again. At this time, the murderous iceberg snow demon chased after them. When it found that it had broken into a formation restriction, it immediately became manic. At this time, Yi Chunfeng arrived at the life gate with the frozen woman in his arms. The woman endured her injuries and slightly changed the array pattern. The life gate opened, and Yi Chunfeng carried her out of the life gate, appearing at the summit of the icy peak. Phew, I'm finally out. After returning to the peak of the icy mountain, Yi Chunfeng immediately released his powerful soul power to sense the surroundings. He let out a long sigh of relief when he didn't sense Yu Nichong's aura. Hang in there. I'll bring you to a safe place to heal your wounds. Yi Chunfeng could feel that the frozen woman's injuries were getting more and more serious. He quickly carried her away from the peak of the Ice Spirit Mountain. He found a relatively safe cave in the Ice Spirit Mountain and went inside. Are you all right? Yi Chunfeng quickly took out a bee skin from his chinquin bag and spread it on the cold ground. He placed the unconscious frozen woman on the bee skin and asked with concern. Although Yi Chunfeng had the thought of using the soul shifter's brain to control her mind, he thought that he owed her a favor. If it wasn't for her, he might have been killed by the profound frost spirit water or the iceberg snow demon. Therefore, he gave up the idea. Cold, I'm so cold. The frozen woman's meridians were damaged, and her body was seriously injured. She couldn't resist the invasion of the cold air. Moreover, her wet clothes had already been frozen, which made her even worse. She was shivering from the cold. I'm sorry. The situation was urgent, and Yi Chunfeng couldn't care less. He directly tore off her frozen clothes. Yi Chunfeng's self-control was good, but seeing the scene in front of him and smelling the faint fragrance on her body, he still felt that his mouth was dry and his heart was beating faster. He quickly took out 2 thick bee skins and wrapped them tightly around her body to help her warm up. After about half an incense stick's worth of time, the ice-sealed woman's body started to heat up. Yi Chunfeng was relieved. He reached his hand into the bee's skin and grabbed her soft little hand. He helped her feel her pulse and check her injuries. What a serious injury. Yi Chunfeng found that her meridians were seriously damaged, and a large amount of blood clots had accumulated in her body. Her situation was very dangerous. If she wasn't treated in time, she might become a cripple. Hey, you saved me, so I'll save you once. This way, we're even. Yi Chunfeng hesitated for a moment, but still decided to save her. He took out a spiritual dark green grass from his chinquin bag. Its leaves were filled with blood vessels. This dark green grass was called the Meridian Replenishing Grass. Yi Chunfeng found it in Shi Tian Ghost Immortal's chinquin bag when he killed him. Yi Feng originally wanted to keep it for a rainy day, but he was about to cultivate the fourth layer of the sixth meridian divine aura realm, so the meridian replenishing grass was almost useless to him. Yi Feng quickly made a fire in the ice cave and boiled the meridian replenishing grass into a small bowl of dark green medicine. He didn't leave a single drop behind and fed it to the frozen woman. Repairing your meridians might be a bit painful, but I hope you can endure it. Feeling a trace of spiritual energy coming out of the frozen woman's body and her brows tightly knitted together, Yi Feng knew that the meridian replenishing grass was taking effect and was repairing her meridians. However, she could only rely on herself to repair her meridians. Yi Feng silently guarded the entrance of the cave. He took out a large piece of black jade condor meat from his chinquin bag and roasted it to satisfy his hunger. About an hour later, the frozen woman woke up from her unconsciousness. When she realized that she was naked and wrapped in the warm animal skin, her eyes immediately showed anger, and her deep eyes were filled with killing intent. However, the killing intent in her eyes was replaced by shock. She realized that her severely damaged meridians were repairing themselves, and her injuries were gradually getting better. "You're awake. How do you feel?" Yi Feng noticed that the frozen woman had woken up, so he came to her side and asked with concern, "Were you the one who took off my clothes?" The frozen woman looked at Yi Feng with a complicated gaze and asked in a low voice. She had always been clean and had never had such an experience. When she thought about how her pure and clean body was unreservedly presented to Yi Feng when she was unconscious, she became very angry. The situation was urgent. "If I didn't take off your frozen clothes, you might have frozen to death." Yi Feng did not evade the frozen woman's gaze and said frankly, "Moreover, if I really had bad intentions, I wouldn't have saved you. You should be able to feel that the broken meridians in your body are repairing themselves." "What medicine did you give me?" The frozen woman looked at Yi Feng's clear eyes, and the anger in her heart subsided a lot as she asked softly, "A meridian replenishing grass." "What? Meridian replenishing grass? You have a meridian replenishing grass?" The frozen woman said in surprise because the meridian replenishing grass was a first-class spiritual herb in the world. Even she did not have it. However, Yi Feng gave such a precious meridian replenishing grass to her. This made the frozen woman's heart even more complicated. "All right, don't think too much. Hurry up and heal your injuries. We'll leave this damned place after you've recovered." Looking at the frozen woman's gradually softening eyes, Yi Feng secretly heaved a sigh of relief and urged her softly, "Thank you." Chapter 106. Early in the morning, a ray of gentle sunlight poured down and shone into the ice cave, adding a trace of light to the originally dark ice cave. The meridian replenishing grass was one of the best spirit herbs in the world. Its value was even higher than a normal spirit-level soul pellet. With the help of the meridian replenishing grass's powerful healing ability, the frozen woman's meridians were quickly recovering. Her injuries were also slowly healing. As expected of a Xianbi sect expert, her body's recovery ability is too strong. Yi Feng, who was sitting cross-legged at the entrance of the ice cave and silently guarding the frozen woman, found that her injuries had mostly recovered in just one day. At most, she would need another day to recover her peak strength. What's that sound? Just as Yi Feng was patiently protecting the woman sealed in ice, the piercing sound of ghosts crying suddenly entered his ears. He immediately became alert and hurriedly left the ice cave. From afar, he saw a gust of white cold air approaching him at an astonishing speed. "Not good. It's that iceberg snow demon. It actually found this place." Yi Feng's sharp eyes pierced through the white cold air. It was the iceberg snow demon. He revealed a trace of seriousness. Although he had broken through to the level 3 Earth Beast General Realm, and his strength was much stronger than before, and the Chaos Divine would have devoured the profound cold spirit water, the Iceberg Snow Demon was comparable to a level 3 or even level 4 Xianbi sect expert. It was not something he could fight against. Just as he was about to return to the ice cave and wake up the frozen woman and quickly leave, he found that the frozen woman had already woken up. Her entire body was wrapped in white mist. "Can you help me kill that iceberg snow demon?" The white mist gradually dispersed. A white silk dress appeared on the frozen woman's body, covering her almost perfect body that could make one's blood boil. "What do you want me to do?" Yi Feng asked. "When I severely injure its body later, you will control the profound cold spirit water to freeze its body. Don't give it a chance to absorb the cold air and reconstruct its body." The frozen woman said. "Okay, that's easy." Yi Feng nodded and agreed. Screech! An ear-piercing cry of a ghost resounded in the silent, snowy sky. The iceberg snow demon, whose entire body was shrouded in cold air, appeared in a secluded snow valley in the iceberg peak through its connection with the profound cold spirit water. Just as the iceberg snow demon got close to the ice cave, a sword light shot out at the speed of light. It carried a power that made people despair and stabbed at the iceberg snow demon's body. Chi! Caught off guard, the iceberg snow demon's body was pierced by the ice-sealed woman's sword. Its body, which was as hard as black iron, was pierced through and a large amount of Yao Qi spread out. "Lowly humans, I will devour all of you." The iceberg snow demon was completely enraged when it was injured by the ice-sealed woman's sword. It looked at the ice-sealed woman who walked out of the ice cave with the sun moon Qianquan sword in her hand and let out a crazed roar. Rolling cold air gushed out of its body, instantly turning into a stream of cold air. It tore through the bone-chilling air and attacked the frozen woman. Beast soul form. As a stream of cold air approached her body, the image of a three-eyed peacock immediately appeared on the ice-sealed woman's body. When she merged with the three-eyed peacock, dazzling peacock feathers bloomed behind her beautiful body, increasing her strength bit by bit. Break! The sword, which was as powerful as thunder, broke through the stream of cold air and launched a fierce attack on the iceberg snow demon. After transforming into her beast soul form, the ice-sealed woman's attack power reached an unimaginable level. Every stab of her sword carried the power of stormy waves. She slashed out dozens of times in a row. The waves were turbulent and endless. The terrifying sword power was like a temperamental sea, constantly crushing the iceberg snow demon's attacks and injuring its body. What a mysterious sword technique. With the power of this sword technique, I'm afraid it's a heaven-class soul skill. Yi Feng, who was standing to the side, witnessed the ice-sealed woman's shocking sword technique and was shocked by the power of this sword technique. Cold air return. The iceberg snow demon's injuries continued to worsen, and a powerful devouring power surged out of its body. It was like a river flowing into the sea, crazily devouring the surrounding cold air entering its body. It healed the wounds on its body, and at the same time, increased its attacking power. "Quickly help me freeze it and stop it from devouring the cold air to heal its body." Feeling the iceberg snow demon's injuries recovering at an astonishing speed, the ice-sealed woman immediately shouted at Yi Feng. "Okay, leave it to me." Yi Feng nodded and moved closer to the battle. He controlled the profound cold spirit water in the chaos divine wood to release endless cold air and freeze the iceberg snow demon. Gotcha! Being attacked by the profound frost spirit water, the iceberg snow demon's body quickly froze. Just as it was about to forcibly shatter the ice, the sun moon Qianquan sword in the frozen woman's hand emitted an endless sword aura and slashed its body, forcibly cutting off its right arm. With its right arm cut off, the iceberg snow demon's attack power was greatly reduced. Coupled with the continuous freezing of the profound cold spirit water, it completely fell into a decline and had no power to fight back. Boundless sword art. Boundless blue clouds break. Seeing that the iceberg snow demon was about to collapse, the ice-sealed woman leaped into the air. Endless soul light shot out from the peacock feathers and merged into the sun moon Qianquan sword, slashing out a boundless sword. The unparalleled sword light left a long sword mark in the air. The sword slashed open the iceberg snow demon's left shoulder and chopped off its entire shoulder. Cold air return. The left arm and right shoulder were both cut off by the ice-sealed woman. The crazy iceberg snow demon continued to devour the surrounding cold air and forcefully heal its injured body. Profound cold spirit water freeze. Yi Chunfeng saw the rolling cold air rushing over like a long river. He immediately controlled the profound cold spirit water to freeze the iceberg snow demon's broken body, not giving it a chance to devour the cold air and heal its body. Snow tornado. Smelling the scent of death, the iceberg snow demon's broken body, which had been frozen continuously, quickly spun around and instantly turned into a tornado filled with cold air. It swept across the world and shattered the ice seal of the profound cold spirit water as it tried to escape. Where do you think you're going? Boundless blue clouds break. Seeing that the iceberg snow demon was trying to escape, the ice-sealed woman roared. Her entire body turned into a stream of light and chased after the snow tornado that rushed into the clouds. The boundless great Tao sword momentum slashed down again, breaking the snow tornado that was filled with tearing power. The sword slashed the iceberg snow demon's broken body into two halves. A sparkling and translucent demonic core that was like a crystal and contained an extremely powerful spirituality was revealed. Demonic core. There's actually a demonic core in this iceberg snow demon's body. Yi Chunfeng knew that normally a powerful heavenly beast would form a demonic core in its body. The demonic core contained an extremely powerful demonic power and was the main ingredient for refining a soul elixir. Collect. Looking at the silent demonic core that was crazily absorbing the surrounding cold air, the ice-sealed woman's white and slender hands moved quickly. She formed several array patterns and sealed the demonic core, keeping it in her hands. This array talisman is for you. Help protect me. The ice-sealed woman, who had continuously stimulated her potential and experienced life and death situations, suddenly felt an opportunity to break through. However, the opportunity to break through was something that could only be found and not sought. If she missed it, she would regret it for life. Whoosh. Chapter 107. The snow was getting heavier and heavier. Yi Chunfeng was like an old monk meditating, sitting cross-legged at the entrance of the ice cave, silently guarding the frozen woman as she cultivated her sword force. How can I fuse the profound, cold spirit water with my sword force? In order to enhance his strength, Yi Chunfeng tried to fuse the profound, cold spirit water into his sword force to increase its power. But even with the help of the God-Eater brain, he couldn't figure out how to do it. Strange, why is it so difficult to fuse the profound, cold spirit water with my sword force? Yi Chunfeng kept fumbling, but he didn't know that the reason why the profound, cold spirit water couldn't fuse with his sword force was because the profound, cold spirit water contained the concept of water. And the concept was above the force. Generally, only the reverse Beast King could comprehend the concept, so fusing the concept into the force was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Fortunately, the existence of the God-Eater brain was too heaven-defying. After countless deductions, the God-Eater brain finally found a trace of fusion. Following this trace, he controlled the God-Eater brain to continue deducing, fusing the profound, cold spirit water into the sword force bit by bit, increasing its power. What a strong power. Is she going to break through? Just as Yi Chunfeng was completely immersed in the process of fusing the sword force, suddenly, a shocking power came from the ice cave, waking him up from his deductions. In the next moment, he clearly felt the cold air coming from all directions like a long river, entering the ice cave. In less than 10 breaths, the cold air in the ice cave was almost solid. I hope there isn't a demon spirit like the iceberg snow demon in this icy spirit mountain, or else it will be troublesome. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect that the frozen woman's breakthrough would cause such a big commotion. He immediately became vigilant, guarding against any danger that might appear at any time. Not good, it's her. Yi Chunfeng held the coiling dragon heavy sword and scanned the surroundings with sharp eyes. He saw a beautiful figure that he didn't want to see the most at this time. Little brother, we meet again. Dressed in white fox fur, Nick Hang, who exuded a deadly charm from head to toe, stepped on the pure white snow and slowly walked towards him. Although Moon Raymond's voice was soft and seductive, causing one's imagination to run wild, Yi Chun-feng could hear the thick, killing intent in her charming voice. "You want to kill me?" Yi Chun-feng asked cautiously as he hid the array talisman that the frozen woman had given him in his palm. "You trapped me for so long. Shouldn't I kill you to vent my anger?" Yuni-chan's seductive red lips curled up slightly as she said with a murderous intent, "However, if you are willing to give me the treasure you obtained from the mountain peak, perhaps Big Sister will be happy, and not only will she spare your life, she will also give you some benefits. Although your cultivation level is higher than mine, today is different from the past. I'm afraid you won't be able to kill me today," said Yi Chun-feng coldly. He slowly moved closer to the ice cave filled with cold air. "Humph. You think you're invincible just because you've broken through to level 3 Earth Beast General? If Big Sister wants to kill you, she only needs one breath." Although Nick Hang didn't put Yi Chun-feng in her eyes, the terrifying aura coming from the ice cave made her slightly startled. She didn't dare to approach for a moment. "Then why don't you dare to come over?" Yi Chun-feng looked at the solemn Nick Hang and deliberately said, "I'm not afraid to tell you that a senior is breaking through to the reverse Beast King realm in this cave. If you're not afraid of death, then attack. If you disturb that senior's breakthrough, I want to see if it will be you or me who will die." Reverse Beast King realm. Hearing Yi Chun-feng's words, Yuni-chan's expression changed greatly. She didn't expect to meet a peerless king realm expert in this desolate snowy mountain. Nick Hang wanted to retreat, but Yi Chun-feng's secret was too attractive to her. She was very curious about Yi Chun-feng's fortuitous encounter in the Ice Spirit Mountain. In just a few days, he had consecutively broken through to the 3rd level Earth Beast General Realm. "Wealth comes from danger. I will leave after I take his treasures. I think that senior won't be able to do anything." Moon Raymond made up her mind. Her spiritual beast, the 3-tailed ice fox, appeared on her body and released a strong suction force towards Yi Chun-feng. His body was instantly sucked in, and he was forcibly pulled out of the ice cave. Aren't you afraid of angering the senior in the ice cave?" Yi Chun-feng roared loudly. He really didn't expect Nick Hang to be so bold as to attack here. "You don't need to intimidate others. I will leave after I deal with you." A powerful aura erupted from Yuni-chan's body as she approached Yi Chun-feng in a flash. She wanted to quickly subdue him and interrogate him about his secret. It's not certain who will be the one to deal with who. Ruin erupt. The instant Yuni-chan's soft hand grabbed Yi Chun-feng's collar, Yi Chun-feng detonated the rune hidden in his palm and pressed his palm toward her. Boom! The terrifying power of the formation pattern burst out like a heavy, golden hammer. It was close at hand and was about to hit the chest of the Moon Raymond. Not good. Nick Hang didn't expect Yi Chun-feng to have hidden such a killing move. Her expression changed slightly as she immediately controlled the 3-tailed ice fox to form an armor to protect her body. However, the ice-sealed woman's rune was too powerful. It easily shattered the beast's soul armor and bombarded her body, sending her flying. A large amount of blood spurted out from her mouth. Profound frost spirit water, freeze. After using the rune to heavily injure Nick Hang, Yi Chun-feng didn't give her a chance to breathe. A silver light flashed under his feet as he instantly appeared in front of Nick Hang and controlled the profound frost spirit water to freeze her body. Sword force. In the next moment, a terrifying sword force gushed out from Yi Chun-feng's body and converged into a shocking sword light. With a force of 120,000 Jin, the sword slashed toward Nick Hang, who had fallen into the snow. Kacha! The ice shattered. Yuni-chan's heavily injured body suffered another heavy blow. A large amount of blood spurted out from her body and dyed the surrounding snow red. "You're courting death." Nick Hang was completely enraged by the backlash of her soul power. She didn't care about her injuries and forcefully condensed the 3-tailed ice fox. She broke out her body and bit Yi Chun-feng. Profound frost spirit water, freeze. The three-tailed ice fox stepped on the void and attacked. Yi Chenfeng's body once again surged with endless cold air and forcibly froze the three-tailed ice fox. Break! When the three-tailed ice fox released its soul force to forcefully shatter the ice that was sealing it, the coiling dragon greatsword in Yi Chenfeng's hand shone with boundless sword force and the cold air of the profound frost spirit water. He slashed the three-tailed ice fox's body and forcefully split its weak body apart. Success! The profound frost spirit water and sword force have finally fused. Seeing the three-tailed ice fox's body split apart, Yi Chenfeng revealed an excited expression. He felt that the power of the sword just now had reached the peak of a Class 6 Earth Beast General. Three-tailed ice fox fuse. When the three-tailed ice fox was injured by Yi Chenfeng, Yu Nikhang revealed an expression of shock and anger. She was even more shocked by Yi Chenfeng's attack power. Just as she disregarded everything and forcefully fused with the three-tailed ice fox, suppressing her heavy injuries and using all her strength to kill Yi Chenfeng, an ear-piercing bird cry suddenly rang out in the ice cave. The terrifying sound pierced through the 9 heavens, shaking Yi Chenfeng and Yu Nichang's eardrums and causing their blood to boil. Brat, I'll spare your life today. The next time I see you, I definitely won't let you go. Chapter 108. Phew, that demoness finally ran away. Looking at Yu Nichang's disappearing figure, Yi Chenfeng heaved a sigh of relief. Although Yu Nikhang was heavily injured, a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. After all, she was a heaven beast immortal expert, and her strength was far superior to Yi Chenfeng's. If she attacked with all her might, Yi Chenfeng wouldn't be able to block it. Boom! While Yi Chenfeng was secretly rejoicing, the cold air that was crazily pouring into the ice cave suddenly exploded. Wearing a white dress, an elegant and beautiful woman walked out of the ice cave. She was tall and slender, and her graceful body was emitting a faint red light, making her look holy and elegant. Red Soul Power, Reverse Beast King Expert. Looking at the red light emitted by the woman, Yi Chenfeng knew that she had broken through to the Reverse Beast King realm, becoming a peerless king of the Dahun continent. Congratulations, Senior, for breaking through. Yi Chenfeng smiled faintly and congratulated her. My name is Shui Piaoling. You can call me Sister Piaoling. After breaking through to the rank 1 Reverse Beast King realm, Shui Piaoling was in a good mood, and her gaze towards Yi Chenfeng was much gentler. By the way, I still don't know your name. My name is Yi Chenfeng. Yi Chenfeng? Yi? There isn't anyone with the surname Yi in the ancient families of the North Sea region. Could he be from another domain? Shui Piaoling muttered to herself. In Shui Piaoling's opinion, Yi Chenfeng had many secrets, extraordinary talent, and comprehended sword force early on, so his identity must be extraordinary. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to subdue the profound cold spirit water and take out the meridian replenishing grass. You're from another domain? Shui Piaoling was even more curious about Yi Chenfeng's identity, so she asked. No, I'm from the Zijin Kingdom, and I'm currently a disciple of the Sky Fire Martial House. Yi Chenfeng wanted to get closer to Shui Piaoling. If she supported him, he wouldn't be afraid of the Sky Fire Martial House, let alone the Sky Fire Martial House. Zijin Kingdom, Sky Flame Martial House. Knowing Yi Chenfeng's identity, Shui Piaoling was confused. She never dreamed that Yi Chenfeng actually came from a mortal country and was even a small martial house disciple. Actually, I was forced to come to the Great Snow Mountain this time. Yi Chenfeng sighed softly, deliberately revealing his own experience. I, Shui Piaoling, don't like to owe favors. You saved me with the meridian replenishing grass and helped me break through to the Reverse Beast King realm. I owe you a huge favor. How about this? I'll teach you 2 top-grade Earth-ranked soul skills. Then I'll follow you to the Heavenly Fire Martial House and help you solve your problems. Thank you, Sister Wandering. Yi Chenfeng was well aware of the value of a top-grade Earth-ranked soul skill. It could be said that the entire Heavenly Fire sect might not even have a soul skill of this level. The first top-grade Earth-ranked soul skill I'm going to teach you is called the Annihilation Sword Technique. I obtained it by chance in a dangerous place 10 years ago. This Annihilation Sword technique has a total of 3 moves. They are Flowing Cloud Thrust, Wind Shadow Slash, and Instant Kill. Watch carefully. As she spoke, Shui Piaoling took out the Sun Moon Qinquan sword and displayed the Annihilation Sword technique in front of Yi Qinfeng. Flowing Cloud Thrust. Shui Piaoling's body swayed slightly, and a sword light shot out like flowing water. It was like a graceful stream of light, piercing forward and directly penetrating a glacier 100 meters deep. Wind Shadow Slash. Shui Piaoling suddenly raised her right hand, and a mercury-like sword light cut down from the sky like a gust of wind. Like cutting tofu, it split the glacier that had just been pierced through by the spear of clouds into 2 halves. Pay attention, this instant kill is the essence of the Annihilation Sword technique. It's also its greatest killing weapon. Shui Piaoling reminded and quickly stabbed out with her sword. This sword seemed simple and unadorned, but its speed was shockingly fast, drawing a white line in the air. The God-Eater brain captured that Shui Piaoling's attack power had been compressed to the extreme, and the sword pierced out in a domineering manner. Okay, this is the cultivation formula of the Annihilation Sword technique. Memorize it quickly. Remember, without my permission, you can't teach the Annihilation Sword technique to anyone else. After performing the whole set of the Annihilation Sword technique, Shui Piaoling took out a dark golden booklet from her interspatial ring. She unlocked the formation restriction in the booklet and handed it to Yi Qinfeng. After receiving the booklet from Shui Piaoling, Yi Qinfeng immediately opened it and controlled the God-Eater brain to memorize it. About 15 minutes later, Yi Qinfeng closed the booklet and returned it to Shui Piaoling. You memorized it all? Shui Piaoling was surprised to see Yi Qinfeng returning the Annihilation Sword technique to her after skimming through the cultivation formula once. Yes, I've memorized it all. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said. After hearing Yi Qinfeng's reply, Shui Piaoling was shocked. She didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to have such a photographic memory. If Yi Qinfeng hadn't seen her pure body, which made her a little uncomfortable in front of Yi Qinfeng, she might have recruited the talented Yi Qinfeng into her sect. Since you've memorized it all, I'll teach you the second Earth-tier soul skill, the Cloud-Crushing Palm. I obtained this cloud-crushing palm by accident when I was traveling in the Northern Spirit region. It's a soul skill that can unleash one's physical strength to the extreme. It can be said that the stronger one's physical strength is, the more powerful the cloud-crushing palm will be. There are a total of 9 realms in the cloud-crushing palm. When you cultivate it to the 9th realm, your palm print can instantly amplify the strength of 9 realms. Your palm print can penetrate the clouds above the 9 heavens and shatter mountains. After saying that, Shui Piaoling's palms surged with a powerful force and gathered it in her palms. She launched the cloud-crushing palm. A giant palm print with 9 overlapping palm prints fiercely hit the 1,000-year-old glacier in the distance. Boom! It was earth-shattering and earth-shattering. The 1,000-year-old glacier was hit by Shui Piaoling's cloud-crushing palm and instantly turned into powder. The powerful force shook the icy peak as if there was a strong earthquake. So powerful! The cloud-crushing palm is so powerful. It's worthy of being an Earth-tier soul skill. After seeing the power of the cloud-crushing palm, Yi Qinfeng was overjoyed. If he could learn it, he would be able to unleash his physical strength to the extreme. With the help of the extermination sword, he felt that he might be able to fight against a level 1 heavenly beast immortal expert. This is the secret manual of the cloud-crushing palm. Memorize it quickly. Shui Piaoling handed the secret manual to Yi Qinfeng and let him memorize it. The cloud-crushing palm was more difficult than the extermination sword art. The chant was more complicated, but Yi Qinfeng, who had the God-Eater brain, could memorize it completely after reading it once. By the way, this is my understanding of sword force. I'll give it to you as well. After Yi Qinfeng memorized the chant of the cloud-crushing palm, Shui Piaoling gave him a handwritten sword force experience, which made Yi Qinfeng overjoyed. Well, let's go to the Sky Fire Marshal House. After saying that, Shui Piaoling's back shone with endless red light, and condensed into a pair of red soul wings. Soul wings, a divine ability that only defiant beast kings can master. Looking at the red soul wings condensed by Shui Piaoling, Yi Chunfeng revealed a look of envy. With the soul wings, one could soar to the 9 heavens. Let's go. Shui Piaoling released strands of red soul power and wrapped it around Yi Chunfeng's body. The red soul wings flapped violently and set off a rolling hurricane, bringing Yi Chunfeng to the 9 heavens and flying in the direction of the Zijin Kingdom. Chapter 109. In the Yi family's old residence. Now that the emperor is suddenly seriously ill, I'm afraid he won't last more than a few days. From the current situation, the imperial city is basically under the control of the Jiang family and the ancient warrior families. There is no doubt that the crown prince will succeed the throne. With the crown prince's character, once he succeeds the throne, our 3 family clans and the second prince will be in a very dangerous situation. The crown prince and the Jiang family will definitely not tolerate our existence. The Ji family's patriarch, Ji Yinzheng, said solemnly. That's right. I never expected the Jiang family to invite the Shun Tu family clan and the Shangwan family clan to help them control the situation. The Bai family's patriarch, Bai Shishan, said softly. After learning that the Zijin emperor was seriously ill, the Yi family and the Ji family took precautions and invited the Bai family to help. They wanted to turn the situation around and control the imperial city to help the second prince ascend the throne. However, they never expected that the Jiang family would invite the Shun Tu family clan and the Shangwan family clan to help. This directly crushed their thoughts of counterattacking and controlled the situation, causing them to fall into a desperate situation. Sigh. If only Chingfeng was here. With him around, the crown prince would probably have to think twice before dealing with us. The Yi family's patriarch, Yi Qingchuan, sighed softly and said worriedly, Not necessarily. Now, Yi Chunfeng might not even be able to protect himself. If he were to appear publicly, someone would immediately take his life. Ji Yinjing shook his head gently and said, Why? Did Chunfeng offend someone? Yi Qingchuan did not know about the conflict between Yi Chunfeng and Yu Shanxian. When he heard Ji Yinjing's words, his expression changed greatly. Qingxue, why don't you say it? Thinking of the people that Yi Chunfeng had offended, Ji Yinjing felt a sense of helplessness. The person who wants to harm Qingfeng is called Yu Shanxian. He is a disciple of the Heavenly Fire sect's Yin Yang Hall. His grandfather is an elder of the Heavenly Fire sect's Yin Yang Hall. Previously, the Shun Tu family clan's pursuit of Chungfeng was ordered by them. In order to kill Qingfeng, Yu Shanxian even left a heavenly beast immortal expert in the imperial city, waiting for Chungfeng to appear and kill him. Ji Qingxue, who was sitting in a corner, said softly with a heavy heart. At this time, Ji Qingxue had already learned from Bai Xia that Yi Chunfeng was the master Chan that she had been yearning for day and night. Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's kindness to her family and her original attitude toward him, Ji Qingxue fell into deep self-reproach and regret. What? Hearing that Yi Chunfeng had actually offended the grandson of the Heavenly Fire sect's Yin Yang Hall elder, and that there were even heavenly beast immortals in the imperial city waiting to kill him, everyone's expression changed drastically, especially Yi Qingchuan, whose heart fell to the bottom. Could it be that the heavens really want to exterminate my Yi clan? Yi Qingchuan said with some despair. Patriarchy, I'm afraid there's no place for us in the imperial city anymore. Why don't we leave the imperial city as soon as possible and find somewhere else to stay? Ji Yinjing suggested in a low voice. Sigh, this is the only way now. Yi Qingchuan sighed softly. Once the crown prince ascended the throne, only destruction would await them. Everyone, where do you want to go? Just as Yi Qingchuan and Ji Yinjing were about to take advantage of the chaos to leave the imperial city after their discussion, a low voice sounded in the silent main hall. The patriarch of the Jiang clan, Jiang Zhongxiong, led a large group of imperial city's royal guards into the Yi clan's old residence and surrounded them in the meeting hall. Jiang Zhongxiong, what are you trying to do? Yi Qingchuan looked at Jiang Zhongxiong, who was wearing a dark golden robe and had a cold expression, and the hundreds of royal guards who were wearing golden armor and holding long spears. His face was gloomy as he spoke. "What am I trying to do?" Jiang Zhongxiong sneered and said, "You colluded with the outside and attempted to overthrow the imperial power of the kingdom of Zijin. I'm here on the orders of the crown prince to capture you traitors. What are you waiting for? Quickly capture these daring traitors and throw them into the imperial prison to await the crown prince's punishment." "Jiang Zhongxiong, don't slander us. When did we attempt to overthrow the imperial power of the kingdom of Zijin?" Ji Yinzheng asked angrily as a strong aura burst out from his body. If they were captured by the royal guards and thrown into the imperial prison, they would never be able to escape alive. "What's wrong, Ji Yinzheng? Are you going to resist?" Jiang Zhongxiong said coldly. "I'm warning you. You better behave yourselves. Whoever dares to resist will be killed without mercy. Old Ji, old Bai, let's fight it out with them and kill our way out." Yi Qing Chuan slapped his Chinkoan pouch and took out a dark green long spear, preparing to forcefully break out of the encirclement. "Looks like if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't behave." Jiang Zhongxiong revealed a cold smile and said, "Brother Shintu, I'll leave Yi Qing Chuan and the others to you." "Okay." Behind Jiang Zhongxiong, a short old man wearing a black robe nodded and slowly walked out. Rays of blue light were emitted from his body. Blue Soul Power, Earth Beast General Expert. Although the Yi family and the Ji family were the four great families of the kingdom of Zijin, because of their heritage, they didn't have any Earth Beast General Experts. Therefore, after witnessing the strength of the old man in black, Ji Yinzheng, Yi Qing Chuan, and the others revealed a look of despair. "Are you going to surrender, or let me kill you?" The old man in black glanced at Yi Qing Chuan and the others with his vulture-like fierce eyes and said coldly. Looking at the old man in black's fierce eyes, Ji Yinzheng and the others felt as if they were being stared at by a hungry wolf. A chill ran down their spines, and the thought of resisting became weaker and weaker. "What are you all standing there for? Tie them up and take them away." Seeing that Ji Yinzheng and the others were intimidated by the old man in black, Jiang Zhongxiong revealed a cold smile and ordered, "Wait, leave the two of them behind." Jiang Zhongxiong's deep gaze swept across the lovely Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia as he spoke maliciously. "What are you waiting for?" Ji Yinzheng and the other soul powers were sealed, and their hands were tied behind their backs. Hearing Jiang Zhongxiong's order to leave the two of them behind, Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia's beautiful faces turned pale, and their beautiful eyes were filled with fear. "Jiang Zhongxiong, what are you trying to do? If you dare to hurt my granddaughter, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost." Ji Yinzheng glared at Jiang Zhongxiong with bloodshot eyes and roared loudly. Bai Xishan also struggled with all his might and wanted to skin Jiang Zhongxiong alive. "Humph, do you think I'm afraid of you?" Jiang Zhongxiong sneered and said with disdain. "Jiang Zhongxiong, I'm the last disciple of Mansion Master Qian. If you hurt me, Mansion Master Qian will definitely avenge me." Ji Qingxue bit her lips tightly and said, wanting to use Qian Daobai's deterrence to pressure Jiang Zhongxiong. "Qian Daobai, I'm not afraid to tell you that the one who has taken a fancy to you is not me, but Lord Nethery of the Yin Yang Hall. With Lord Nethery's strength as a level 4 heavenly beast immortal, a mere Qian Daobai dares to go against her. However, if the two of you can serve Lord Nethery well, perhaps Lord Nethery will be happy and spare your lives. Jiang Zhongxiong, you despicable person, you'll die a horrible death." Ji Yinjing knew that the Yin Yang Hall of the Heavenly Fire sect was proficient in the Tao of sexual intercourse. Any girl who fell into their hands would be ruined by them. "Damn it, you still dare to scold me at this time." Jiang Zhongxiong looked at Ji Yinzheng, who was struggling like a furious lion, with the veins on his neck popping out. Jiang Zhongxiong took a big stride forward and punched Ji Yinjing's chest with his fist that was filled with soul power, sending Ji Yinjing flying. Ji Yinjing's body crashed heavily onto the ground. In the future, there will be no Yi family, no Ji family, no one family in the Imperial City. There will only be my Jiang family. Jiang Zhongxiong stepped on Ji Yinjing's face and said arrogantly. Chapter 110. We're here. The city in front is the violet gold imperial city. The heavenly fire marshal house is in the violet cloud mountains behind the violet gold imperial city. Shui Piaoling brought Yi Chunfeng and flew at high speed for about a day. In the evening, they flew to the sky above the violet gold imperial city, which occupied an extremely large area. Why is there such a strong smell of blood in the sky above the violet gold imperial city? Shui Piaoling looked down at the brightly lit violet gold imperial city. She sensed a strong smell of blood in the sky above the imperial city. Something has happened. Yi Qinfeng's brows twitched. He suddenly thought of the tense situation in the violet gold imperial city and quickly said, Sister Piaoling, let's go down quickly. Something might have happened in the violet gold imperial city. All right. Shui Piaoling nodded. Her soul wings, which were emitting a faint red glow, flapped violently, setting off a violent gust of wind. She swooped down from the sky and landed on the deserted streets of the violet gold imperial city. Something has really happened. Yi Qinfeng saw that the once bustling violet gold imperial city had become desolate. Almost all the shops were closed. There was a faint smell of blood in the air. His heart tightened. He immediately brought Shui Piaoling to the Yi family's old mansion to investigate. A level 4 heavenly beast immortal. I didn't expect there to be a heavenly beast immortal expert in this small mortal imperial city. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Shui Piaoling were heading to the Yi family's old mansion, Shui Piaoling released her powerful soul perception. She sensed a powerful aura in the southeast direction of the violet gold imperial city. She suspected it to be a level 4 heavenly beast immortal expert. Someone from the heavenly fire sect. Yi Chunfeng raised his brows and his face turned gloomy. Chunfeng, that level 4 heavenly beast immortal should be your enemy, right? Shui Piaoling said. That person should be an expert from the heavenly fire sect's Yinyang Hall. I wonder if Yu Shanxian is still around? Yi Chunfeng nodded and said with a cold look. Let's go. Let's go there first. Perhaps you will find something unexpected there. Shui Piaoling suggested. All right. Yi Chunfeng nodded. He raised his speed to the peak and rushed with Shui Piaoling to the Jiang family's old mansion in the southeast of Violet Gold Imperial City. Grandpa, you're back. Jiang Yijuan, who was drinking tea in the Jiang family's old residence, immediately stood up to welcome Jiang Zhongxiong and the others when he saw them return. When he saw Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia tied up and brought back by the Jiang family's experts, his eyes lit up. There was another person standing beside Jiang Yijuan. This person was none other than Yi Qingchuan's second son, Yi Tianming. He was also the one who insisted on driving Yi Chunfeng out of the Yi family. From today onwards, there will no longer be any Yi clan or Ji clan in the Violet Gold Imperial City. If the Wen clan doesn't know what's good for them, there's no longer any need for them to exist. Thinking of the scene where his old rival, Ji Yin, was being trampled under his feet, Jiang Zhongxiong immediately felt comfortable all over and said complacently, "Congratulations to Patriarch Jiang for becoming the #1 person in the Zijin Kingdom." Yi Tianming smiled and congratulated him, completely forgetting that the blood of the Yi clan flowed in his veins. Jiang Yijuan's eyes, however, drifted towards the lovely Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia. Looking at their bodies that were tied up with ropes, Jiang Yijuan's eyes immediately burned with passion. "Yijuan, I prepared the two of them for Lord Nethery. You can't touch them." Sensing Jiang Yijuan's burning gaze, Jiang Zhongxiong reminded him coldly, I dare not. Thinking of Lord Nethery's ruthless methods, Jiang Yijuan's body trembled. He quickly shifted his gaze away from the two sexy bodies. "Shiyu, bring the two of them to Lord Nethery's room. Lord Nethery, please enjoy them." Ji Yin ordered. "Yes, father." Jiang Shiyu nodded and ordered 2 experts of the Jiang clan to bring the despairing Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia to a very quiet courtyard in the Jiang clan's old mansion. "Lord Nethery, my father specially found 2 peerless beauties for you. Please enjoy them." Jiang Shiyu stood outside the courtyard and said respectfully, "Bring the 2 of them to my room." A cold voice echoed from the courtyard. "It's Lord Nethery." Jiang Xiu led Ji Qingxue and the other two girls, whose faces were deathly pale and without a trace of blood, into the quiet courtyard. I didn't expect such beauties to exist in such a small mortal kingdom. A middle-aged man with a chiseled face wearing a fiery red robe saw Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia outside the door with the help of the moonlight. His eyes immediately lit up. This Lord Nethery was none other than Yu Shanxian, who had come to the Sky Fire Marshal House with him. He had once hunted down Yi Qinfeng, Yu Mingdao. "All right, leave the two of them here. You can leave now." Looking at Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia's hot bodies, fair skin, and moving faces, Yu Mingdao's heart burned with passion, and he ordered loudly, "Yes, Lord Nethery." Jiang Xiu pushed Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia into his room. He gently closed the door and turned to leave. Not bad, not bad. Such beauty is hard to find even in the Sky Fire sect." The more Yu Mingdao looked at Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, the more he liked them. With a light wave of his right hand, two thin strands of soul slid through the air and cut open the ropes binding their bodies. Looking at Yu Mingdao's ferocious face, Ji Qingxue trembled in fear. They didn't dare to imagine what would happen next. Hot tears flowed uncontrollably, drenching their beautiful faces. "Little beauties, don't cry. I'll show you some love later." Seeing their wretched expressions and their beautiful faces, the dim radiant sect felt the flames in their hearts rise higher and higher. "We are the last disciples of Palace Lord Qian. If you dare to hurt us, my master will not let you off." Ji Qingxue brought up Qian Daobai again, begging Yu Mingdao to let them off for Qian Daobai's sake. Qian Daobai? Who does he think he is? He's just a small 6th-grade beast general. How dare he meddle in my affairs? Yu Mingdao sneered and said disdainfully, "Come, my two little darlings. Every moment of the night is worth 1,000 gold. Tonight, I'll show you some love." With that, Yu Mingdao released a powerful suction force from his palm, pulling them to his side. "Even if I die, I won't let you have your way." Seeing Yu Mingdao's ferocious face, Ji Qingxue's enchanting eyes became filled with determination. She wanted to bite her tongue and commit suicide to protect her innocence. "Die? Do you think it's possible for you to die before me?" Yu Mingdao smiled coldly. Powerful soul force seeped into Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia's bodies, forcefully restraining them. Chapter 111. At a time like this, there's no need for you to beg for someone to save you. I'm the ruler here. The smile on Yu Mingdao's face grew even wider as he spoke mockingly when he saw the deathly pale Ji Qingxue and the other woman's eyes. Just as he was about to grab Ji Qingxue's clothes and tear her dress apart, a murderous aura suddenly came through the tightly shut door. It seeped into his bones, making him feel as if he was being stared at by the world's most venomous snake. He felt a chill from head to toe. "Who's there?" Sensing the terrifying killing intent that had suddenly appeared, the dim radiant path suddenly stood up from the bed. An indistinct scorpion appeared on his body as he stared at the door with a hawk-like gaze. "Do you see who I am?" The tightly shut door suddenly opened, and Yi Qinfeng, who was dressed in a white robe and had a tall and straight figure, slowly walked in with a thick, killing intent on his face. He spoke with a cold, killing intent. "Yi Qinfeng, you actually have the courage to return." Although the dim radiant path had sensed that Yi Qinfeng had broken through to level 3 Earth Beast General in just over a month as a level 4 Heavenly Beast Immortal, he did not take Yi Qinfeng seriously at all. "Xingqian, hurry up and leave. Don't worry about us. He's a Heavenly Beast Immortal expert that Yu Shanxian specially left behind to kill you." The despairing Ji Qingxue and Ji Qingxue had never thought that Yi Qinfeng, who should have been out training, would appear at this moment. They urged them on anxiously, afraid that the dim radiant path would kill Yi Qinfeng. "Leave? Since you've come, leave your life behind." Yu Mingdao laughed coldly, and a powerful aura exploded from his body, pressing down on Yi Qinfeng from all directions. Faced with the powerful presence released by the dim radiant path, Yi Qinfeng's physical strength completely erupted. He was like an indestructible boulder, resisting the presence that was enough to crush regular earth beast immortals into meat paste. He did not move at all. What great physical strength! Sensing the physical strength that Yi Chanfeng had erupted with, the dim radiant path's face changed slightly. He felt a sliver of unease for some reason. Mother asterisk her, go to hell. The dim radiant Taoist roared out, and a high-grade spirit artifact spear appeared in his hand. It tore through the air and stabbed towards Yi Chenfeng's chest, wanting to pierce through him. Just as the spear was about to pierce through Yi Chenfeng's body, water ripples suddenly appeared in front of Yi Chenfeng. Shui Piaoling, who had an ethereal temperament and extremely beautiful features, appeared in front of Yi Chenfeng. She extended a finger and pointed at the tip of the spear. Kacha! An ear-piercing, shattering sound rang out. The high-grade spirit artifact spear in the dim radiant Taoist hand could not withstand Piaoling's finger attack. Cracks immediately appeared on the tip of the spear. The powerful force shook him so much that he almost lost his grip on the spear. What? Seeing the high-grade spiritual spear that he had spent a lot of effort to refine being cracked by Shui Piaoling's finger, the dim radiant sect's heart was in turmoil. He looked as if he had seen a ghost. Sister Piaoling, what's the situation outside? Yi Chenfeng looked at the frigid Shui Piaoling and asked. This place has already been enveloped by the formation inscriptions that I've cast down. No one can leave. Shui Piaoling stared at the dim, radiant sect coldly and growled. She hated people who cultivated the way of Acacia the most. It could be said that the dim, radiant sect had already been sentenced to death by her. Senior, I am a protector of the Yin-Yang Hall of the Celestial Fire Sect. May I ask if you can spare me for the sake of the Celestial Fire Sect? After witnessing Shui Piaoling's shocking strength and sensing her killing intent, the dim radiant sect was terrified. He immediately brought out his identity and background. Spare you, Shui Piaoling said with chilling, killing intent. Scum like you should have been cut to pieces long ago. Senior, do you really want to become enemies with my Celestial Fire Sect? Feeling the killing intent in Shui Piaoling's eyes grow thicker and thicker, the dim radiant sect was truly terrified. He braced himself and asked, a mere third-grade sect dares to threaten me. Even if I kill you in front of Huling, he won't dare to say anything. Shui Piaoling snorted coldly. She did not take the Celestial Fire Sect seriously at all. Senior, just who are you? When the dim radiant sect heard Shui Piaoling mention the name of the only great elder of the Celestial Fire Sect, his expression changed drastically. He could not imagine how Yi Chenfeng, who had no background at all, had managed to get such a great figure here. You don't deserve to know who I am. Go die obediently. Shui Piaoling lost her patience. A streak of red soul force slowly appeared in her palm. Red soul force, a peerless ruler. Seeing the red soul force rising in Shui Piaoling's palm, the dim radiant sect's eyes widened. 2 of his 3 souls were scared out of their wits. His heart was filled with despair. Just as he was about to kneel on the ground and beg for mercy, the red soul force that appeared in Shui Piaoling's palm shot through his head like a bolt of lightning. It shattered his soul and ended his life. Sister Piaoling, I wonder if you're willing to take the 2 of them as disciples? Yi Chenfeng looked at Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, who were extremely frightened. They looked haggard and had tear stains at the corners of their eyes. He did not want them to get hurt because of him, so he begged. Take them as disciples? It's not easy to become my disciple. Shui Piaoling glanced at Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia. She found that their cultivation was very low and their talent was average. Sister Piaoling, I'm willing to use 2 favors to ask you to take them as disciples. Yi Chenfeng continued to beg. Your 2 favors? Shui Piaoling smiled and said playfully, all right, when your favors are really worth that much, I'll take them as disciples. But before that, I can take them away first and make them outer disciples of my sect. Thank you, Sister Piaoling. Yi Chenfeng was overjoyed and said gratefully. He was relieved that Shui Piaoling would take care of the 2 girls. Chenfeng, I don't want to be separated from you. Ji Qingxue bit her wet lips tightly. She looked at Yi Chenfeng, who had already conquered her heart and imprinted a shadow in the depths of her heart, and said bitterly. Baixia did not say anything, but she looked at Yi Chun-feng with eyes full of longing and reluctance. The dim radiant sect has been killed. The heavenly fire sect will definitely investigate the cause of his death. If you don't want anything to happen to you, it's best you leave with Sister Piaoling. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to save you next time. Yi Chun-feng ignored the affection in the two girls' eyes and shook his head. Then, Chun-feng, will you go and visit us? Hearing Yi Chun-feng's emotionless words, Ji Qingxue felt an inexplicable pain in her heart. She felt that Yi Chun-feng probably did not have much affection for her, and she could only blame herself for all of this. She could not blame Yi Chun-feng. If there's a chance, I'll go. Yi Chun-feng nodded and said, By the way, Patriarchy, how are your grandfather and the others? What happened in Zijin Imperial City? Yi Chun-feng changed the topic. In order to seize the throne, the first prince is constantly eliminating his opponents. Grandfather and the others have been captured by the Imperial Guards and locked in the Imperial prison. Ji Qingxue told Yi Chun-feng the whole story. First Prince Jiang Zhongxiong is trying to kill them all. Yi Chun-feng's eyes flashed with viciousness as he said, Let's go. We'll settle the score with them. We'll let them know that there are some people they can't afford to offend. With that, Yi Chun-feng took out 2 sets of clothes from his Cosmos bag and put them on the 2 girls. He got Shui Piaoling to take care of them before leaving the room that reeked of blood alone. He walked through the night towards Jiang Zhongxiong's courtyard. Chapter 112. Grandfather, if Lord Nethery gets tired of Ji Qingxue and Baixia, can you give them to me so that I can have some fun with them? Ji Qingxue and Baixia were so beautiful that Jiang Yijuan could not forget about them. He wanted to have them. We'll talk about it when the time comes, Jiang Zhongxiong said in a low voice. His deep eyes looked through the window at the silent night sky outside. For some reason, Jiang Zhongxiong felt that his heart could not calm down, as if something big was about to happen. However, when he thought about the fact that the Jiang family had a Class 4 Heavenly Beast Immortal Expert from the Heavenly Fire sect, his uneasy heart gradually calmed down. Yijuan, do you feel that something is wrong outside? Jiang Zhongxiong took a sip of tea and pondered for a moment before asking. Something is wrong? Jiang Yijuan looked surprised. He looked out the window and said in confusion, Grandfather, it's very quiet outside. There's nothing wrong. Quiet, yes, it's too quiet. When Jiang Yijuan said this, Jiang Zhongxiong immediately realized where the problem lay. The entire Jiang family mansion was too quiet. There was not the slightest bit of movement. This was too illogical. Stop, who are you? How did you get in? Just when Jiang Zhongxiong found the problem and was about to order people to check the entire Jiang family's old mansion, a loud shout suddenly came from the quiet courtyard. The next moment, there was no movement. Not good. A strong enemy is attacking. Hearing the guard shout, Jiang Zhongxiong's face changed, and he urged loudly, Yijuan, quickly go and ask Lord Nethery to come and help. It doesn't matter who comes. No one can save you today. The tightly shut door was suddenly shattered by a powerful wave of soul force. Yi Chun-feng walked in slowly with his hands behind his back. He had a cold expression on his face. Yi Chun-feng, it's you. You actually dare to come back. Looking at the person who came, Jiang Yijuan breathed a sigh of relief. His face revealed a trace of malevolence. I'll come back to take your lives. Yi Chun-feng looked at Jiang Yijuan and the others coldly and said with killing intent, Ha ha ha, Yi Chun-feng, do you still not know the situation you're in? Jiang Yijuan laughed loudly and said arrogantly, I'm not afraid to tell you that Lord Nethery is in my Jiang residence. Today, you can't escape even if you have wings. Lord Netherworld? Yi Chun-feng smiled playfully. You're talking about the dim radiant sect, right? It's a pity that he just died. He's waiting for you on the Yellow Springs Road. As he spoke, Yi Chun-feng suddenly took a step forward, crushing the ground beneath him. With a powerful physical pressure, he instantly appeared in front of Jiang Yijuan. Yijuan dodged. Sensing Yi Chun-feng's sudden burst of power, Jiang Zhongxiong's expression changed drastically as he loudly reminded Yi Chun-feng. However, Yi Chun-feng's speed was too fast. Before Jiang Yijuan could react, Yi Chenfeng's fist, which was filled with 50,000 gene of strength, struck his chest and sent him flying. Boom! Jiang Yijuan's body suddenly exploded in midair. Pieces of flesh and blood fell from the air and scattered on the ground. The terrifying scene made one's hair stand on end. You actually killed my grandson." Seeing the grandson he had placed such high hopes on die in front of him, Jiang Zhongxiong felt a surge of blood rush to his head. His eyes instantly turned blood red as a powerful, baleful aura spread out from his body. "Not only will I kill him, but I will also kill you, as well as all the ambitious people in your Jiang family. I will let you all know that there are some people you can't afford to offend." Yi Chunfeng ignored the baleful aura released by Jiang Zhongxiong and walked towards him with heavy steps. The powerful pressure instantly shattered Jiang Zhongxiong's baleful aura, making it difficult for him to breathe. You broke through to the rank 3 Earth Beast General Realm." Feeling the surging soul power in Yi Chenfeng's body, Jiang Zhongxiong deeply felt the difference in strength between him and Yi Chenfeng. However, he already had no way to retreat. He steeled his heart and took out a golden blade from his Chinquan bag. A golden cicada phantom appeared on his body. "Golden cicada, saber shadow," Jiang Zhongxiong shouted as he gripped the golden saber tightly with both hands. A large number of golden cicadas wrapped around the golden saber, increasing its attack power. He slashed at Yi Chenfeng. "Break!" Seeing that Jiang Zhongxiong's golden cicada saber shadow was about to slash at Yi Chenfeng's body, Jiang Zhongxiong's pupils constricted as he threw a punch at the golden cicada saber shadow. The fist, which was compressed to the extreme, easily shattered the golden saber. The fist struck Jiang Zhongxiong's chest, penetrating it. In the next moment, Yi Chenfeng appeared beside Jiang Zhongxiong and pressed his right palm on Jiang Zhongxiong's head. He circulated the soul-devouring art and devoured Jiang Zhongxiong's spiritual beast, the golden cicada. After taking away Jiang Zhongxiong and Jiang Zhongxiong's belongings, Yi Chenfeng's body flashed and left the room filled with the thick smell of blood. He continued to slaughter the Jiang family's experts under the silent night sky. "Oh, Yi Tianming, why is he here?" When Yi Chenfeng quietly killed several Jiang family's experts, he accidentally found Yi Tianming in a secluded courtyard. Could it be Godfather's death has something to do with him? Yi Chenfeng had always suspected that there was a traitor in the Yi family. Otherwise, his godfather would not have been poisoned to death for no reason. Bang! The tightly shut door suddenly shattered, waking Yi Tianming, who was immersed in his beautiful fantasy from his beautiful dream. Yi Chenfeng. When Yi Tianming saw Yi Chenfeng, who was standing outside the house with a murderous aura, he was so frightened that he stood up from the chair. He was scared out of his wits. "Were you the one who poisoned my foster father to death?" A strong mental strength blasted into Yi Tianming's mind, causing his mind to collapse and his mind to be in a trance. Yes, Yi Tianming was only a level 2 beast illusionist. He could not resist Yi Chenfeng's strong mental strength. In a trance, he admitted, "It's really you." Yi Chenfeng was indebted to Yi Xuanxiang. It could be said that without Yi Xuanxiang, there would be no Yi Chenfeng. After knowing the cause of his godfather's death, a strong murderous aura emanated from Yi Chenfeng's body and blasted into Yi Tianming's body. He was so frightened that he fell to the ground. No, Yi Chenfeng, listen to me. It's the Jiang family. They forced me to poison him. I didn't want to do it." Yi Tianming, who had regained his senses, kept explaining. His body, which was lying on the ground, was trembling. "You are scared. From the moment you killed my adoptive father, you should have known that this day would come for you." As Yi Tianming spoke, a sharp sword light flashed in front of Yi Chenfeng's eyes. His entire body was split open by the sword light that burst out from Yi Chenfeng's body. A large amount of blood spurted out and dyed the ground red. "Godfather, I will send all the people who harmed you to hell and let them repent to you in hell." Yi Chenfeng looked at Yi Tianming's body that was split into two and said with a strong, murderous aura. After about 30 minutes, the Jiang family residence was covered in blood. A strong smell of blood floated in the dark night. In the entire Jiang family residence, only a few innocent women, children, servants, and maids had their memories erased by Piao Shueling. Chapter 113. The Zijin Imperial Palace was the true core of the Zijin Imperial City. At this moment, in a coiling dragon hall in the violet gold Imperial Palace, there was singing and dancing. Numerous women wearing tulle dresses, their bodies faintly discernible, were slowly twisting their hot and delicate bodies along with a melodious music, outlining an extremely seductive scene. Crown Prince Ying Jianglu, who was wearing a dark golden dragon robe, was sitting in the main seat of the hall with a smile on his face. He was entertaining the experts of the Shun Tu family clan and the Shangwan family clan, thanking them for helping him eliminate the dissidents and stabilizing the situation. Crown Prince, how do you plan to deal with the Yi family's remnants? Sitting on the first seat on the right, the Shun Tu family clan's patriarch, Shun Tu Shuzhou, who had a pair of sword-like eyebrows and an aquiline nose, asked after drinking a mouthful of fragrant wine. Senior Shuzhou, are you interested in them? Although Ying Jianglu was about to ascend to the throne, the Shun Tu family clan was an ancient martial arts family clan. They were powerful and had a close relationship with the Heavenly Fire sect. He did not dare to offend them, so he asked politely, "Yes, I want to use their lives to force Yi Chunfeng to appear and get rid of him." Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's amazing cultivation talent, Shun Tu Shuzhou felt uneasy. If he could not get rid of Yi Chunfeng as soon as possible, Shun Tu Shuzhou felt that Yi Chunfeng would become his inner demon. "All right, when I ascend to the throne, I will hand the Yi family's remnants over to you." Ying Jianglu agreed happily. "Come, let's drink. If you want to find me, why go through so much trouble?" Just as Shun Tu Shuzhou finished his cup of wine and was thinking of how to force Yi Chunfeng to appear by using the Yi family's members' lives, a thunder-like voice resounded in the lively hall. Yi Chunfeng was like an invincible god of war. With heavy steps, he slowly walked into the hall. Yi Chunfeng. When Shun Tu Shuzhou saw Yi Chunfeng appear in public, a black dove phantom image appeared around him. He leaped up from his seat with a long sword in hand. Like a stormy sea, he attacked Yi Chunfeng in a bid to quickly capture him. I seal. When the murderous Shun Tu Shuzhou approached Yi Chunfeng, a bone-chilling cold air suddenly gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body, instantly freezing the Grade 5 earthly beast general Shun Tu Shuzhou. In the next moment, a suffocating force erupted from Yi Chunfeng's body. A punch with a force of over 50,000 kilograms struck Shun Tu Shuzhou, who had turned into an ice sculpture. The punch shattered Shun Tu Shuzhou's body, killing him on the spot. Shun Tu Shuzhou could be said to be the strongest person present. He was even stronger than the Shangwan clan's clan master, Shangwan Feijing. Witnessing him being frozen and killed instantly by Yi Chunfeng, everyone present was dumbfounded, especially Ying Jianglu, who was so scared that his whole body started to tremble. The patriarch is dead. Seeing the scene of Shun Tu Shuzhou's death, the Shun Tu family clan experts were afraid. They wanted to quickly leave this troublesome place. When they rushed to the door of the hall, they found that a powerful formation seal had sealed the door, making it impossible for them to leave. Yi Chunfeng, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to kill us all? A Shun Tu family clan elder braced himself and warned, "My Shun Tu family clan has a close relationship with the Heavenly Fire sect. If you dare to harm us, the Heavenly Fire sect will definitely avenge us." Chi. Just as the Shun Tu family clan elder finished speaking, a sharp sword beam shot out from Yi Chunfeng's body. Like a bolt of lightning, it struck his body and split him into two. He died tragically on the spot. "Young Master Yi, my Shangwan family clan has no grudges with you. We have no intention of being your enemy. I wonder if you can let us go. If you are willing to let us go, my Shangwan family clan is willing to worship you forever." Seeing Yi Chunfeng's ruthless methods, Shangwan Feijing's heart turned cold. He restrained his killing intent and made a promise in front of everyone, praying that Yi Chunfeng would let them go. "If I let you go, you will immediately inform the Heavenly Fire sect, right?" Yi Chunfeng said coldly as he saw through Shangwan Feijing's intentions. "We wouldn't dare. We can swear to keep a secret. Having his secret exposed by Yi Chunfeng, Shangwan Feijing's body trembled as he hurriedly said, "Sorry, I only believe in dead people." Yi Chunfeng's pupils constricted as a terrifying sword aura shot out from his body once again. It gathered into a shocking sword beam that slashed down from midair, breaking through Shangwan Feijing's defense and killing him. Seeing the strongest Shinta Shuzhou and Shangwan Feijing being killed by Yi Chunfeng, Ying Jianglu was scared out of his wits. His legs trembled as he nearly lost his footing. "Ying Jianglu, why are you trembling? Are you very cold?" Yi Chunfeng looked at Ying Jianglu, who was trembling and breaking out in cold sweat, and said sarcastically, Senior Yi, I know my wrongs. I'm willing to give up the throne. Please spare my life." Ying Jianglu stuttered as he spoke. Towards the end, the previously arrogant him knelt on the ground. "Ying Jianglu, for the sake of your own selfish desires, you massacred your comrades and indiscriminately massacred the innocent. I truly cannot find a reason to spare you." Seeing Ying Jianglu kneeling on the ground like a dog, Yi Chunfeng said without the slightest trace of emotion, "Senior Yi, please give me a chance to turn over a new leaf. I promise to turn over a new leaf and turn over a new leaf." Ying Jianglu kept kowtowing and begging for mercy, begging Yi Chunfeng to spare him. In your next life. Facing Ying Jianglu's begging, Yi Chunfeng was unmoved. He struck his head with his palm, ending his evil life. After killing Ying Jianglu, Yi Chunfeng continued to slaughter the experts of the Shuntu family clan and Shangwan family clan. In an instant, blood dyed the Grand Hall red. The thick stench of blood made people vomit. Seeing the corpses lying in a pool of blood, the officials in the Grand Hall kept quiet out of fear. However, Yi Chunfeng did not attack these mortals. He asked Shui Piaoling to forcefully erase their soul memories. "Sister Piaoling, let's go to the heavenly prison." After Shui Piaoling erased everyone's soul memories, Yi Chunfeng left the Grand Hall and arrived at the heavenly prison. With Shui Piaoling's help, she tore open a huge hole in the impenetrable heavenly prison, releasing the second prince, Yi Qingchuan, Ji Yanzheng, and company. To avoid exposing his identity, Yi Chunfeng did not appear. After Yi Qingchuan and company regained their freedom, he quietly left the chaotic palace with Shui Piaoling and met up with Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, who were waiting outside the palace. "Sister Piaoling, thank you for helping me. If not for you, I might have killed a lot of innocent people tonight," Yi Chunfeng said gratefully from the bottom of his heart. "Chunfeng, the path of cultivation is like cutting through waves. It is bound to kill a lot of people. However, you were able to protect your heart when you killed people. It shows how strong your Tao heart is. However, what happened tonight will definitely alarm the Heavenly Fire sect. Why don't you follow me back to the Ethereal Mountain to prevent any accidents?" Shui Piaoling said. Ethereal Mountain, the only top 6th grade sect in the Northern Spirit region. Yi Chunfeng knew about the various large sects in the Northern Spirit region. He knew that the number 1 sect in the Northern Spirit region was the Ethereal Mountain. There were several defiant Beast King experts presiding over the sect. With your talent, it will be easy for you to become an inner sect disciple in the Ethereal Mountain. Your cultivation speed will definitely be better than in the Heavenly Fire sect. After seeing Yi Chunfeng's amazing talent and strong Tao heart, Shui Piaoling also started to appreciate his talent. "If there's a chance, I will definitely go to the Ethereal Mountain. However, now is not the time." For the sake of the true spirit realm that was about to open, Yi Chunfeng tactfully rejected Shui Piaoling. "If that is the case, then take care of yourself. It is best if you don't show yourself for a while in order to avoid being found out by the Heavenly Fire sect. This amulet is for you. It can help you block a fatal attack from the Xian Beast sect's expert ones." Shui Piaoling did not force Yi Chunfeng. He gave him a very precious amulet. "Chunfeng, I'm sorry. Please forgive my original ignorance and rudeness." As they were about to part, Ji Qingxue reluctantly looked at Yi Chunfeng and said guiltily, "Let bygones be bygones. You and Xia follow Sister Piaoling and cultivate well. If there's a chance, I will go to the Ethereal Mountain to visit you," Yi Chunfeng said with a faint smile. Chung Feng, Qing Xue, and I will wait for you at the ethereal mountain. You must come. Bai Xia looked at Yi Qinfeng affectionately and tried her best to hide her inner feelings. I will definitely go. Yi Qinfeng nodded and promised. Okay, it is almost dawn. We have to go. Cultivate well and try to impress me with your 2 favors. Chapter 114. Cold lake, crane shadow, cool breeze, autumn water. In the southwest of the Zijin kingdom, there was a mountain range with steep terrain. There was a quiet and deep lake. This lake was called the Serene Cloud Lake. Because there were many strong spirit beasts in the lake, there are very few people around the Serene Cloud Lake. At this moment, on the surface of the silvery white lake, a young man in a white robe with a pair of dark eyes that were filled with determination was practicing his sword in the water. This young man practicing his sword was none other than Yi Qinfeng, who had secretly left the chaotic Zijin imperial city and decided to cultivate in seclusion. Swish! A silver sword light flickered with cold light under the sun. The sharp sword presence broke through the water surface and left a sword mark that was dozens of meters long. I finally have some comprehension. If this situation continues, I think I will be able to comprehend the second heaven of sword presence very soon. Yi Qinfeng was at the shore of the Serene Cloud Lake, studying the sword presence manual that Xue Piaoling gave him while practicing his sword in the lake. As his comprehension of the sword presence manual deepened, the power of his sword presence also increased. Buzz! Another 2 days later, Yi Qinfeng's body suddenly vibrated with a loud sword sound. A powerful sword presence gushed out from his body and rushed into the clouds. The powerful sword presence dispersed the clouds in the sky and slashed into the Serene Cloud Lake. A sword mark that was more than 100 meters long was left on the surface of the Serene Cloud Lake. The terrifying sword presence didn't dissipate for a long time, scaring the spirit beasts in the Serene Cloud Lake and causing them to flee in panic. I have finally cultivated the second heaven of sword presence. Feeling the surge of sword presence in his body, Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile. Although he wasn't sure if he had the ability to fight with a Grade 1 Heaven Beast Immortal, he knew that his attack power was enough to kill a Grade 6 Earth Beast General. After cultivating the second heaven of sword presence, Yi Qinfeng didn't continue comprehending the sword presence. Instead, he took out the Chinquin bag from the dim radiant sect and controlled the God-Eater brain to break the restriction in the bag. He released his soul force and permeated it. 13,000 low-grade soul crystals, 280 mid-grade soul crystals, 67 stalks of heaven and earth spirit herbs, 2 mid-grade spirit artifacts, and 3 low-grade spirit artifacts. This is a spirit-grade soul pill. Yi Qinfeng looked through the items left behind by the dim radiant sect. He discovered an embroidered box sealed with inscriptions. When he broke open the inscriptions on the box, he discovered a milky white pill that gave off a dense fragrance. Yi Qinfeng controlled the soul-devouring brain to scan the white soul pill. The grade of the pill immediately appeared in his mind, making him overjoyed. As expected of the Skyfire Sect's Yin Yang Hall Guardian, there's actually a spirit-grade soul elixir in his Chinquin bag. I wonder if this spirit-level soul pellet can help me break through to the 4th grade Earth Beast General Realm. Yi Qinfeng adjusted his breathing by the Serene Cloud Lake for a while, adjusting his body to its peak state. Then he swallowed the spirit-level soul pellet and circulated the soul-devouring art to quickly refine and absorb it to increase his strength. Just as Yi Qinfeng was bitterly cultivating by the Serene Cloud Lake to increase his strength, he received news of the dim radiant sect's death. The Skyfire sect fell into a great shock. 3 Yin Yang Hall elders rode their Firewing Windbirds to Zijin Imperial City to investigate the cause of the dim radiant sect's death. The chaotic Zijin Imperial City became jittery because of the arrival of the 3 Yin Yang Hall elders. As Xue Piaoling had deliberately left many traces of her attacks, the 3 Yin Yang Hall elders were deeply shocked. After their thorough investigation, they concluded that the person who killed the dim radiant sect, the Jiang family, the Shin Tu family clan, and the Shangwan family clan, was an important figure that even the Sky Fire sect could not afford to offend. His strength was at least that of a fourth-grade mystic beast sect. Why did the dim radiant sects, Jiang, Zhongxiong, and company offend such an important figure and suffer such a calamity became an unsolvable mystery. As for Yi Chenfeng, because his strength was too low, he was never suspected by anyone. Sensing the seriousness of the situation, the three Yin Yang Hall elders did not dare to stay in the Zijin kingdom for long, nor did they dare to investigate the matter in depth. They left with the news that was enough to shock the Sky Fire sect. Without the interference of the Sky Fire sect, the Zijin kingdom gradually regained its order. Under the support of the Yi family, Ji family, Wen family, and by family, the second prince, who had survived the calamity, gradually gained control of the situation. After the old emperor passed away, he ascended the throne as he wished. Time passed day by day, and the day of the Sky Fire Martial House's examination was getting closer. In order to obtain good results on the examination day, the disciples of the Sky Fire Martial House cultivated with all their might. In the depths of the purple cloud mountains, under a thunderous waterfall, a tall, bare-chested youth stood under the waterfall like a steel spear. He used his flesh and blood to withstand the impact of the waterfall, tempering his physical strength. Huh! An explosive roar came out of his mouth. The muscles all over his body suddenly burst out with an astonishing strength, as if he was an ancient demon beast that had just awoken. With a stomp of his foot, he cracked the hard boulder under his feet. Like a meteorite, he rushed up the waterfall that was flowing down. Limitless scattered hands. The youth relied on his astonishing strength to rush to the center of the waterfall. Both of his hands quickly twisted, and a large palm imprint filled with destructive power heavily bombarded the waterfall that was like a silver dragon. With one palm, the powerful waterfall was cut in half. The huge water flow was like a fairy scattering flowers, scattering in all directions. Phew! I finally cultivated the limitless scattered hands to the 8th realm. Landing on a cracked boulder, the youth revealed a satisfied smile. He muttered to himself, I don't know if I could defeat Fu Yue with my current strength and strive for first place in the Sky Fire Martial House's examination. The youth who was practicing his palm under the waterfall was Lin Fu Xeng, ranked second on the Sky Fire Martial ranking. The limitless scattered hands he cultivated was one of the top 3 spirit rank soul skills in the Sky Fire Martial House. He was able to cultivate the limitless scattered hands to the 8th realm in a short year. It was enough to show that his talent was extraordinary. The Black Mountain sect was a first-ranked sect in the North Snow region. The sect had 3 rank 5 Earth Beast generals. Relying on the strength of the 3 sect masters, the Black Mountain sect bullied men and women and did all kinds of evil deeds. They had become a big tumor in the Black Mountain region. In order to eradicate the Black Mountain sect, many large families had offered generous rewards. But a year had passed, and not only had the Black Mountain sect not been eradicated, but their power had grown stronger. Chi, a silver-white blade, slashed down from the sky. A tall woman in tight black clothes, with long black hair casually draped over her shoulders and an expressionless face, appeared alone outside the Black Mountain sect. She slashed her saber across the air and split the Black Mountain sect, which was more than 10 meters tall and impregnable, in half, shocking the entire Black Mountain sect. If Yi Chenfeng was here, he would recognize this woman in black at a glance. She was the woman in black who had shocked him greatly in the Gravity Cave. Her identity was recognized as the number 1 person in the Sky Fire Martial House. She was Fu Yue, who had cultivated the top spirit rank soul skill to the 9th realm. Another one who isn't afraid of death has come. Hearing the commotion, hundreds of Black Mountain sect experts rushed out of the Black Mountain sect and surrounded the cold and elegant Fu Yue. Little beauty, I think you're tired of living. How dare you come to my Black Mountain sect alone to make trouble? But if you can serve us 3 brothers well, maybe we'll be in a good mood. And the great sect leader of the Black Mountain sect looked at Fu Yue's delicate face, hot body, and sexy legs unscrupulously. However, before he could finish his sentence, a sharp blade slashed at him at a speed that was difficult to see with the naked eye. What a fast blade! A silver light flashed in front of the Black Mountain sect's great sect leader, and the last thought flashed through his mind. His body was cut in half, and he fell into a pool of blood and died. After killing the Black Mountain sect's strongest great sect leader with a single slash, Fu Yuiwei continued to slash with her blade. Streaks of blade light that seemed to tear the void apart quickly fell into the crowd. Every time the blade fell, more than 10 people would die. The ground was crisscrossed by the terrifying blade light. In less than the time it took to burn a stick of incense, the first-rank Black Mountain sect that dominated the Black Mountain region was annihilated. None of the 813 people in the sect were spared. The entire Black Mountain sect became a purgatory on Earth. You can't even withstand a single blow. Chapter 115. Annihilation Sword Art, Flowing Cloud Pierce. Yi Chenfeng smoothly thrust out his sword. A flowing cloud sword shadow pierced through layers of air and split open the secluded surface of the quiet cloud lake, directly penetrating to the shore 1,000 meters away. Wind shadow slash. The 1,000-meter-long sword mark in the serene cloud lake had yet to dissipate when Yi Chenfeng leaped into the air. A peerless sword ray like a wind blade tore through the sky and slashed into the bottomless serene cloud lake. A huge hole was cleaved in the center of the quiet cloud lake. The sword ray was filled with 2 layers of sword force, preventing the surging lake water from converging. There was still half a month before the Heavenly Fire Marshal House's examination. Yi Chenfeng cultivated his 3 great soul skills during the day and refined a spirit-level soul pill at night. He had raised his cultivation to the peak of a Class 3 Earth Beast General and gradually grasped the first 2 forms of the Annihilation Sword Art. However, the third form of the Annihilation Sword Art, Instant Kill, was too difficult to cultivate and the requirements were too harsh. With Yi Chenfeng's current strength, he was unable to grasp it. Roar! Just as Yi Chenfeng continued to cultivate his 3 great soul skills, an extremely powerful roar came out from the quiet cloud lake, filled with powerful sword force. Hidden Cloud Lake was the absolute overlord. A level 3 golden-armored snake turtle, the size of a small mountain, with a snake tail and the strength of a level 6 Earth Beast General, could no longer bear the harassment and emerge from Hidden Cloud Lake. In fact, this gold-armored snake turtle had already sensed Yi Chenfeng's existence. It was only because it felt an intense sense of danger from Yi Chenfeng that it didn't show up. However, Yi Chenfeng's sword strike had directly penetrated the quiet cloud lake and struck its hard shell. This had completely enraged it, causing it to make up its mind to chase Yi Chenfeng away. You're finally willing to come out and spar with me. Yi Chenfeng looked at the golden-armored snake tortoise that emerged from Quiet Cloud Lake and roared furiously at him. He revealed a faint smile. His figure flashed slightly as he stepped on the rippling lake and took the initiative to attack the golden-armored snake tortoise. Cloud-breaking palm. The tip of Yi Chenfeng's foot lightly touched the rippling surface of the lake. His entire body soared into the sky like a large bird spreading its wings. In the next moment, the shadow of a blood egg appeared behind Yi Chenfeng, greatly increasing his soul power. Yi Chenfeng's palm shot down. The wind and clouds throbbed, and the water rippled. Yi Chenfeng's entire body strength was condensed in this palm. It carried a strong sense of oppression. His palm imprinted on the hard shell of the golden-shelled snake turtle. Boom! A series of earth-shattering explosions resounded on the huge shell of the golden-armored snake turtle. The formidable power shook the hill-like body of the golden-armored snake turtle, and its huge body sank down by 3 inches. Oh! The tortoise shell suffered a heavy blow, which completely enraged the golden-armored snake turtle. A terrifying shockwave was released from its mouth, which shattered the layers of air and bombarded Yi Chenfeng, who was falling towards the surface of the serene cloud lake. Apparition shifting. Facing the sonic attack released by the golden-armored snake turtle, Yi Chenfeng suddenly took a deep breath. 3 afterimages appeared behind him, which instantly increased his speed by 3 times. In the process of falling, he made a series of unimaginable dodges. He continuously dodged the sonic attack and landed on the surface of the lake. This golden-armored snake turtle is really terrifying. Yi Chunfeng did not receive a direct attack from the golden-armored snake turtle, but the blood and qi in his body were still violently tumbling. Beast Soul Armor. Feeling the terror of the golden-armored snake turtle, Yi Chunfeng did not dare to be careless. For the first time, he controlled the blood egg to condense a soul armor to protect his whole body. However, the blood egg was limited by its level. The condensed soul armor's defensive power was not high, and the soul power defense had become Yi Chunfeng's only weakness at the moment. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood and qi in his body. He took out the coiling dragon heavy sword and performed the apparition shifting. He left an afterimage on the violently tumbling lake and approached the gigantic golden-armored snake turtle. Compared to the golden-armored snake turtle, Yi Chunfeng's body was much smaller. But when Yi Chunfeng performed the second layer of the sword aura, the terrifying sword aura made the golden-armored snake turtle smell a strong sense of danger. Killing sword art, flowing cloud pierce. The sword aura gushing out of Yi Chunfeng's body quickly condensed into a flowing cloud sword shadow that was full of killing power. It made an ear-piercing sound as it pierced towards the golden-armored snake turtle's head. Feeling the terror of Yi Chunfeng's sword, the golden-armored snake turtle's pillar-like forelimbs fiercely slapped on the surface of the lake. It stirred up a series of water pillars, trying to shatter the flowing cloud pierce. But the flowing cloud pierce was full of powerful sword aura. It pierced through the water pillars with irresistible force and pierced the neck of the golden-armored snake turtle at a speed that was difficult to be seen by the naked eye. Suddenly, a large amount of blood gushed out like a fountain. The golden-armored snake turtle roared in pain, and the entire serene cloud lake violently tumbled. It's gone crazy. Looking at the golden-armored snake turtle whose eyes had turned blood red and whose terrifying aura was erupting like a volcano, Yi Chunfeng did not retreat. Instead, the battle intent in his body became stronger and stronger. Rumble. A large area of lake water exploded. The furious golden-armored snake turtle opened its bloody mouth and shot a series of powerful spirit lights at Yi Chunfeng, bombarding his body. Killing sword art. Facing the attack of a large number of spirit lights, Yi Chunfeng raised his strength to the limit. He held the coiling dragon Ape in his hand and met the attack head-on. He continuously stabbed with a flowing cloud pierce, shattering the spirit lights that were full of destructive power. The spirit lights that it spat out could not do anything to Yi Chunfeng. The golden-armored snake turtle's thick forelimbs fiercely slapped on the lake surface. Its huge body suddenly rotated and released an endless amount of golden light. It was like a huge spinning top, twisting the air and attacking Yi Chunfeng. Killing sword art, wind shadow slash. Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank. The endless sword aura was integrated into the coiling dragon Ape. With a slash, a wind shadow sword light that was dozens of meters long cut through the sky and slashed on the hard shell of the golden-armored snake turtle. Rumble. A powerful force exploded on the golden-armored snake turtle's shell. It was like a stormy sea, forcibly blocking the golden-armored snake turtle, making it unable to move forward. Collapsing cloud palm. Seeing that the golden-armored snake turtle had relied on its innate strength to break the wind shadow sword light, Yi Chunfeng suddenly stomped on the violently fluctuating lake's surface and flew into the sky. He threw out a powerful palm strike towards the golden-armored snake turtle. Boom! The collapsing cloud palm fiercely bombarded the golden-armored snake turtle's shell. The powerful force forcibly smashed the huge body of the golden-armored snake turtle into the violently tumbling, quiet cloud lake. The lake surface within a 1-mile radius was affected by the collapsing cloud palm. It collapsed and formed a vacuum area. After being continuously attacked by Yi Chunfeng's killing moves, the golden-armored snake turtle started to bleed profusely. Its internal organs were also damaged. In the end, the overlord of the quiet cloud lake, the golden-armored snake turtle, was terrified of Yi Chunfeng's terrifying attack power. It did not dare to fight with him again. It quickly sank to the bottom of the lake and did not dare to come out again. After the golden-armored snake turtle escaped, Yi Chunfeng stepped on the surface of the lake and appeared on the shore. He sat cross-legged on a rock that was as smooth as a mirror. Combining the insights he had gained from the battle with the golden-armored snake turtle, he took out the sword aura handwritten scroll given to him by Piao Shui and continued to comprehend. As his comprehension of sword aura became deeper and deeper, his attack power became stronger and stronger. There were only 3 days left until the Sky Fire Martial House's entrance exam. It's time to go back. Chapter 116. Early in the morning, the melodious sound of a bell came from the Sky Fire Martial House. It spread to every corner of the Martial House, causing the originally quiet Sky Fire Martial House to become lively. A large number of Martial House disciples were filled with excitement as they poured into the arena. They occupied the best spots and waited for the Martial House's final assessment to begin. In order to increase the intensity of the Martial House's assessment, the Sky Fire Martial House had stipulated that only the top 30 disciples were qualified to participate in the final assessment. Among the top 30 disciples, only the top 3 could represent the Sky Fire Martial House to enter the True Spirit Realm and compete with the disciples of the 3 major sects and 2 major martial houses for great opportunities. The competition was intense. Look, it's senior brother Shin Kwang and senior brother Shangwan Yuan Tong. What a powerful aura. No wonder they are the top 3 contenders. As more and more disciples gathered in the stands, a tall and sturdy Shin Kwang, wearing black training clothes, walked into the arena with a gloomy expression. His eyes flashed with an ominous glint. This is my only chance. I must get into the top 3 of the Sky Fire Martial House and enter the True Spirit Realm to seek my own opportunities. Otherwise, everything is over. Shinta Kwang clenched his fists tightly and swore in his heart. Ever since they learned that the Shinta family clan and Shangwan family clan had been annihilated by a mysterious expert in the Purple Gold Palace, Shinta Kwang and Shangwan Yuan Tong's personalities had changed greatly. They had become even more gloomy and terrifying. If they were unable to get into the top 3 and enter the True Spirit Realm, without the support of their families, it would be extremely difficult for them to become a Sky Fire Martial House disciple. Therefore, this assessment was their only chance. Senior brother Lin Fuxin is here. What a powerful pressure. It seems that the person who can shake senior sister Fu Yoyue's throne is none other than senior brother Lin. Just as the disciples were discussing who was stronger between Shinta Kwang and Shangwan Yuan Tong, a man who was stronger than Shinta Kwang and had a more terrifying aura appeared. He gave off an unruly feeling. This man was Lin Fuxin, who had broken the waterfall with one palm and occupied the 2nd place of the Sky Fire Martial House for many years. Lin Fuxin walked with heavy steps to the arena. He was not affected by the heated atmosphere. He sat on the cold ground and silently adjusted his breathing, waiting for the battle to begin. What a strong killing intent. Lin Fuxin had just adjusted her breathing for half a minute when a strong murderous intent appeared in the arena. Feeling this strong murderous intent, Lin Fuxin immediately opened her eyes and saw Fu Yue, who was wearing a tight black outfit and had a hot figure and an expressionless face, appear. How did Fu Yue become so strong? In order to defeat Fu Yue, Lin Fuxin had been cultivating bitterly for the past year. She had cultivated the limitless Sans Ho to the 8th level and was only 1 step away from mastery. However, when he felt the murderous intent emanating from Fu Yue's body, the confidence in his heart was shaken. He felt that Fu Yue was a lethal weapon that no one dared to make an enemy out of. As expected of a genius who single-handedly annihilated a first-ranked sect, judging from the murderous aura emanating from Fu Yue's body, I'm afraid that more than 1,000 people have died at his hands. Elder Liu, who was sitting in the main spectator stand, saw Fu Yue enter the battle arena and instantly become the center of attention. He could not help but sigh with emotion. To complete the 1,000 slaughter, this Fu Yue is definitely the #1 genius in our Sky Fire Marshal House. There is no doubt that she will be #1 in the final assessment. Deputy Mansion Master Huo Lingfeng praised. That might not be the case. Perhaps there is someone who can shake Fu Yue's #1 position in the final assessment. Qian Daobai, who had been silent all this while, whispered as he cast his deep gaze into the distance. Mansion Master, the variable you were talking about is Yi Qinfeng, right? Elder Lu knew that Qian Daobai had high hopes for Yi Qinfeng, so he followed up. That's right. That Yi Qinfeng is the biggest variable in the final assessment. I just don't know if he can make it back in time. Qian Daobai nodded and whispered. For some reason, Qian Daobai had a feeling that the death of the Dark Radiant sect, the annihilation of the Shun Tu family clan, Shangwan family clan, and the Jiang family had something to do with Yi Qinfeng. Lingfeng, this year's final assessment will be presided over by you. Qian Daobai sighed softly in his heart when he saw that the top 30 disciples of the Sky Fire Marshal role, other than Yi Qinfeng, had all arrived. All right. Huo Lingfeng nodded and slowly stood up. He cleared his throat and said in a deep voice, "Everyone quiet down. This assessment will be the same as before. There will be 3 groups. Every match will be a direct elimination system. The opponents will be decided by the Elder's drawing of lots. Only the disciples who win every match will be able to stand out from their groups and enter the finals. As for the top 3, our Sky Fire Marshal House has prepared generous rewards for them. They will be 3 different quality spirit-ranked soul elixirs. Other than the spirit-ranked soul elixirs, the top 3 of the Sky Fire Marshal House can also represent our Sky Fire Marshal House and enter the true spirit mystic realm to seek out great opportunities and supreme inheritances. All right, I now announce that the Sky Fire Marshal House's final assessment has begun. As the competition began, the entire arena's atmosphere became unprecedentedly lively. Disciples of the Marshal House were looking forward to the intense competition that was about to begin. In order to increase the fairness of the competition, the top 3 of the Sky Fire Marshal ranking were seeded contestants of the 3 groups. The remaining contestants were divided into 3 groups by drawing lots. After drawing lots, Yi Qinfeng was divided into 3 groups. He was in the same group as Shinda Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong. His first opponent was Shangwan Qi, who was ranked 6th on the Sky Fire Marshal ranking. He was also recognized as the 3rd strongest in this group. Knowing that they were in the same group as Yi Qinfeng, Shinda Kuang, and Shangwan Yuantong's faces became extremely ugly. Fortunately, Yi Qinfeng had not appeared yet. If he still did not appear when it was his turn, he would be eliminated. First round, Shangwan Yuantong against Zhou Lingqing, Feng Yunxue against Huang Kongming, Lin Kezhu against Wu Ruinyu. After the drawing of lots, Huo Lingfeng immediately announced the 2 contestants. However, Shangwan Yuantong, Feng Yunxue, and Lin Kezhu were all in the top 10 of the Sky Fire Marshal ranking. Their strengths were far superior to their opponents. Therefore, there was no suspense in the first round. When the match began, Lin Kezhu, who was wearing red armor and had a hot figure, held a fire crystal saber in her hand. She completely suppressed her opponent. Fire Shadow, Saber Mountain. Her attack completely suppressed Wu Ruinyu. Lin Kezhu's body exploded with a powerful force. The terrifying saber light turned into a saber mountain. With one saber strike, Wu Ruinyu was sent flying out of the stage and lost the match. Lin Kezhu defeated her opponent with absolute strength. Shangwan Yuantong was stronger than her. Feng Yunxue had also finished her battle early and obtained an overwhelming advantage. Second round, Feng Shanshui against Li Jiqing, Lin Fuxin against Wu Guanyun, Shangwan Qi against Yi Qinfeng. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's name, the disciples in the stands looked for traces of him. However, they discovered that Yi Qinfeng, the most famous person in the Sky Fire Marshal House last year, had not appeared. Discussions immediately broke out. Yi Qinfeng, it's already so late. Why aren't you back yet? Could it be that you're in trouble? Qian Daobai's brows were tightly knitted together. He began to worry for Yi Chenfeng. On the other hand, Shinda Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong revealed faint smiles. Without Yi Chenfeng, one of them would definitely stand out in the third group and obtain the qualification to enter the True Spirit's secret realm. Fire Martial House Lord. That Yi Chenfeng still doesn't dare to appear. Can we disqualify him? Shangguan Qi, who was holding a 9-foot 9-inch long spear, asked with a mocking expression. Martial House Lord, what do you think? Hua Lingfeng looked at Qian Daobai, who was frowning, and asked for his opinion. Treat everyone equally. We can't wait endlessly. Announce it. Qian Daobai sighed softly. Chapter 117. What a fast speed. Just as Qian Daobai finished his words, an ear-piercing sound suddenly rang out. In the next moment, an afterimage that was too fast for the eyes to take in swept across the sky and smashed onto the stage like a meteorite. It forcefully cracked the hard stage and caused Shangguan Qi's blood to churn as he couldn't help but take 3 steps back. My apologies, Martial Manor Lord. I am late. Yi Chenfeng looked at Shangguan Qi, whose expression was extremely ugly, and his voice was like thunder. His powerful aura made Qian Daobai's eyes light up. Grade 3 Earth Beast General. This Yi Chenfeng has broken through to a Grade 3 Earth Beast General in just a year. After sensing Yi Chenfeng's strength, Qian Daobai revealed a look of deep surprise. Although he had high expectations for Yi Chenfeng, he realized that he had still underestimated Yi Chenfeng after seeing his true strength. At this moment, the noisy spectator stand turned quiet as pairs of astonished gazes were directed at the tall and straight figure of Yi Chenfeng, who was emitting a sharp aura. The discussions and doubts that were directed at him earlier had all disappeared. Just the sharp aura that was emitted from Yi Chenfeng's body had conquered all the disciples of the martial house. Yi Chenfeng, Lin Fuxin, who was waiting for the match to start, glanced at Yi Chenfeng, who had a steady aura, and sensed a strong sense of danger from him. Even the aloof Fu Yuyue, who was below the stage, took another glance at Yi Chenfeng. Yi Chenfeng, I can't help but admire your luck. You actually managed to rush back at the last moment. Due to the difference in strength, Shangguan Qi didn't sense Yi Chenfeng's true strength. He held a spear with one hand and pointed it at Yi Chenfeng. He said in a provocative tone, but even if you rush back, it is useless. You are destined to be the loser. Ignorant. Yi Chenfeng looked at Shangguan Qi, who was pointing the spear at him, without any change in expression. Let the match begin. Looking at the 6 people who were at daggers drawn, Hua Lingfeng smiled and announced loudly. Yi Chenfeng let out a loud roar, and a rhinoceros phantom appeared on his body. He suddenly stomped his right foot, and the arm that was holding the long spear tightly emitted an endless amount of soul light. He thrust the spear out, and it brought along a sharp edge as it directly pierced towards Yi Chenfeng's chest. Black Serpent Spiral. The moment the long spear pierced forward, Yi Chenfeng's palm suddenly shook. The tip of the spear spat out a spear light that was like a revolving black snake, shrouding Yi Chenfeng's body, making it impossible for him to defend himself. Black Snake Transformation. Senior Brother Shangguan actually cultivated the high-grade spirit rank soul skill, Black Snake Spear Art, to the large success stage. As expected of an expert ranked 6th on the Heavenly Fire Martial ranking. Looking at Shangguan Qi's soul skill, Yi Chenfeng stood still. Seeing that the black snake-like spear light was about to pierce his chest, Yi Chenfeng raised 2 fingers at lightning speed and stabbed the black snake-like spear light. Qi, the spear light condensed by the high-grade spirit skill, Black Snake Spear Art, was pierced by Yi Chenfeng's fingers, which were filled with close to 50,000 kilograms of strength. Immediately after, his 2 fingers clamped down on the spear tip, causing it to be unable to move forward. A strong rebounding force formed on the surface of the long spear, shaking Shangguan Qi's arm until it went numb, and he almost couldn't hold the long spear in his hand. Witnessing the scene before them, the entire arena was in an uproar. So strong, this Yi Chenfeng's strength is indeed as strong as the legends say. using 2 fingers to break the large success stage black snake spear art. Is this something a human can do? Just as the disciples are shocked by Yi Qinfeng's astonishing strength, a terrifying power erupted from Yi Qinfeng's body, and he blasted a punch toward Shangguan Qi, who had turned pale with fright. Yi Qinfeng's punch seemed simple and unadorned, but it gave Shangguan Qi a suffocating feeling. Beast Soul Armor. Feeling the terror of Yi Qinfeng's punch, Shangguan Qi hurriedly condensed a soul armor to protect his body. He placed a trembling long spear horizontally in front of his chest to block Yi Qinfeng's punch. Bang! Yi Qinfeng's punch, which was filled with 50,000 kilograms of strength, landed on the long spear shaft. Together with the spear shaft, it ruthlessly smashed into Shangguan Qi's chest, shattering the soul armor condensed by his spiritual beast, the rhinoceros. The punch sent him flying out of the arena, leaving behind a cloud of blood in midair. Strong, too strong. Shangguan Qi, who is ranked 6th on the Heavenly Fire Martial Roll, was actually defeated by Yi Qinfeng with a single punch. Witnessing the scene before them, the ring-shaped spectator stand became noisy. They had never expected such an outcome. Yi Qinfeng, you're not bad. I hope you won't lose to Xindequan. That way, I can fight to my heart's content with you. After defeating her opponent with an overwhelming advantage, Lin Fuxin looked at Yi Qinfeng with high fighting spirit and transmitted her voice to him. As you wish. Yi Qinfeng looked at Lin Fuxin, whose eyes were filled with fighting spirit but had no ill intentions, and replied with a voice transmission. Under the awe-inspiring gazes, he leaped down from the arena. Yi Qinfeng, looking at Yi Qinfeng's back, Fu Yue, who had a hot figure and a charming appearance, but was emitting a strong killing intent, similarly had a strong fighting spirit in her deep eyes. Good, very good. It seems that Yi Qinfeng has had a fortuitous encounter in this past year. He is indeed a person with great luck. Qin Daobai was very satisfied with Yi Qinfeng's performance and nodded as he spoke. After the second round of the competition ended, the third round of the competition immediately began. The results of the competition were not unexpected. Xindequan and the others obtained an overwhelming victory over their respective opponents. Senior Sister Fu Yue is going on stage. I can finally see Senior Sister Fu in action. I heard that the most difficult mission in the mission tower was taken by Senior Sister Fu. In just 3 days, Senior Sister Fu completed the mission and killed 3 level 5 Earth Beast Generals of the Black Mountain sect. When the fourth round of the competition began, Fu Yue, who was dressed in tight black clothes and had a hot figure, with an overflowing killing intent, lightly tapped her toes and crossed a distance of tens of meters to land on the arena. It's her. So she is Fu Yue. Yi Qinfeng finally knew who the woman he had met in the gravity cave was when he heard the words of adoration in his ears. I admit defeat. Just as the disciples were waiting for Fu Yue to make her move, the martial house disciple she was fighting could not withstand the killing intent emitted from her body. He bit his lips and admitted defeat on the spot. Fu Yue glanced at the pale martial house disciple with beads of sweat on his forehead. She shook her head and leaped down from the spectator stand. She returned to her seat and continued to meditate with her eyes closed. The competition continued intensely. The elimination rounds in the morning quickly passed. After the morning competition, 15 disciples were eliminated. The remaining disciples rested for the afternoon competition. As the seeded contestants in the third group were too strong, with Qin Daobai's approval, Fu Yue, Lin Fuxin, and Xindequan were given a bye in the second round. Yi Qinfeng and the rest of the 12 would draw lots for the afternoon competition. After the lots were drawn, Yi Qinfeng's opponent in the second round was a youth named Ling Tong. He was a level 1 Earth Beast General and was ranked 13th on the Heavenly Flame Martial Roll. Qinfeng, do your best. Lin Kazhu came to Yi Qinfeng's side and softly cheered him on. You too. Chapter 118. Yi Qinfeng, your attack power is very strong, but my defense is not weak either. If you want to beat me, I'm afraid you'll have to show me some of your true abilities. Commander Ling, who was holding a high-grade spirit tool dark gold staff, looked at Yi Chunfeng with high spirits as he spoke in a deep voice. His aura was calm and steady. Then I'll have to experience your defensive abilities. Yi Chunfeng replied indifferently, his face neither happy nor sad. Wind Dance Staff Formation. When a match started, Ling Tong, who knew that his strength was far inferior to Yi Chunfeng's, quickly waved the staff in his hand. A large number of staff shadows shot out, interweaving into an impenetrable staff formation with astonishing defensive power. This Wind Dance Staff Formation is worthy of being the Sky Fire Martial House's #1 defensive soul skill. Its defensive power is too terrifying. Seeing Ling Tong surrounded by countless staff shadows, the disciples in the stands began to discuss spiritedly. They were all looking forward to seeing how Yi Chunfeng would break through the Wind Dance Staff Formation and defeat Ling Tong. Blood Serpent's Seal. Looking at the impenetrable Wind Dance Staff Formation, Yi Chunfeng's hands quickly twisted. Rolling strength and soul power quickly condensed into a small blood serpent, carrying a strong bloody light as it rushed towards Ling Tong. Blood Serpent Seal. Senior Brother Yi actually used the mid-grade spirit skill Blood Serpent Seal to attack the Wind Dance Staff Formation. Doesn't he know that the Wind Dance Staff Formation is the Sky Fire Martial House's #1 defensive soul skill? How can a mere mid-grade spirit skill contend against it? Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng using the Blood Serpent Seal to attack, the Martial House disciples who were watching this match began to discuss amongst themselves. Even several Martial House elders shook their heads. They all felt that Yi Chunfeng was a little too arrogant. Yi Chunfeng, you dare to humiliate me. Ling Tong's face sank, his eyes spewing flames of anger. He increased the power of the Wind Dance Staff Formation, wanting to destroy Yi Chunfeng's Blood Serpent Seal and give him a warning. Just when everyone thought that Yi Chunfeng's move would fail, Yi Chunfeng's Blood Serpent Seal landed on the Wind Dance Rod Array. In the next moment, a deafening cracking sound came from the staff formation. The Wind Dance Staff Formation could not withstand the Blood Serpent Seal's attack at all. A large number of staff images were shattered and destroyed by the Blood Serpent Seal's attack. The attack landed on Ling Tong's body. Pooh! Ling Tong raised his head and spat out a mouthful of blood. Like a kite with a broken string, his body drew an arc in the air and fell out of the arena. He lost the match. How could this be? When did the Blood Serpent Seal's attack power become so terrifying? Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng using the Blood Serpent Seal, breaking through the Wind Dance Staff Array, and defeating Ling Tong, the Martial House disciples in the stands widened their eyes and mouths in disbelief. It could be said that what had just happened was completely beyond the scope of their understanding. Martial House Master, did Yi Chunfeng use the Blood Serpent Seal just now? Vice Martial House Master Hua Lingfeng asked in puzzlement. Without a doubt, it's the Blood Serpent Seal. However, Yi Chunfeng modified the Blood Serpent Seal and infused his own power into it, thus increasing its attack power and breaking the Wind Dance Staff Formation in one fell swoop. Qian Daobai, who had seen a lot, said, infusing his own strength into the Blood Serpent Seal? How much strength does he need to increase the Blood Serpent Seal's power to such an extent? Hua Lingfeng sucked in a breath of cold air and said in shock, at least 100,000 Jin. Otherwise, the Blood Serpent Seal would not be able to break through the Wind Dance Staff Array. Gan Daobai said, 100,000 Jin of strength. Could it be that Yi Chunfeng has the blood of a divine beast flowing in his body? Hua Lingfeng and the others guessed in shock. This was because an ordinary third-grade beast general had a strength of 40,000 Jin, which was already very frightening. However, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength was more than twice that of an ordinary third-grade beast general. All right, let's stop guessing Yi Chunfeng's secret. Let's continue watching the competition. No matter how much Yi Chunfeng grows in the future, he will always be a disciple of our Sky Fire Martial House. Gan Daobai said proudly. Yi Chunfeng defeated Ling Tong in one move. Shangguan Yuantong also easily defeated his opponent and entered the final group round-robin stage. As for the disciples who entered the final round-robin stage, there was no suspense. Other than the 6th-ranked Shangguan Qi, who was defeated by Yi Chanfeng in one punch. The other 9 people successfully advanced. After drawing lots, Yi Chanfeng was lucky enough to draw a bye, allowing Shinda Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong to compete first. Seeing the results of a draw, Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong's faces turned extremely ugly. Obviously, they did not want Yi Chanfeng to step on their shoulders and enter the final round to obtain the qualification to enter the true spirit realm. After the 1-hour break, the competition continued. I admit defeat. When Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong jumped onto the stage, Shangwan Yuantong took a deep breath and admitted defeat in front of everyone, causing an uproar. Thank you, Brother Yuantong. I promise that as long as I enter the Skyfire sect, I will find a way to get you in. Shinta Kuang looked at Shangwan Yuantong, who was clenching his fists with a gloomy expression, and promised. I hope you remember your promise. Shangwan Yuantong nodded and said, Despicable, they are colluding, Lin Kazhu said indignantly, feeling injustice for Yi Chanfeng. Losers are destined to be losers. No matter how they scheme, they will not be able to change their fate of failure. Yi Chanfeng didn't mind. He slowly stood up and leaped into the air. Like a sharp sword, he leaped onto the stage. The second match was between Yi Chanfeng and Shangwan Yuantong. Seeing Yi Chanfeng jump onto the stage, Shinta Kuang looked at him coldly and turned to leave. Shinta Kuang, where are you going? At this moment, Yi Chanfeng suddenly called out to him and asked in a low voice, What? You want to challenge both of us at the same time? Shinta Kuang turned around slightly and looked at Yi Chanfeng with a provocative gaze as he deliberately asked, Yes, to save time, both of you can come at me together. Yi Chanfeng smiled and said indifferently, Yi Chanfeng, you really want to challenge both of them at the same time? You should know that you only have one chance to compete. If you fail, you will lose the qualifications to enter the true spirit realm. Huo Lingfeng frowned and reminded him kindly, Yes, I have thought about it. I want to challenge both of them at the same time. Yi Chanfeng nodded and replied, We have no objections. Shinta Kuang was afraid that Yi Chanfeng would regret his decision and quickly said, All right then. Since both of you have made up your minds, then this round of competition will be Yi Chanfeng against Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong. Huo Lingfeng announced loudly, Yi Chanfeng, you are courting death. Shinta Kuang revealed a sinister smile as he muttered in his heart. After witnessing Yi Chanfeng's terrifying attack power, Shinta Kuang originally did not have the confidence to defeat him. However, he never expected that things would take a turn for the better. Yi Chanfeng actually agreed to challenge both him and Shangwan Yuantong at the same time. This gave Shinta Kuang hope of victory, and the battle intent in his body grew stronger and stronger. And Yi Chanfeng's 1 against 2, challenging the 3rd and 4th experts of the Heaven Fire Martial ranking, ignited the entire martial arena, causing the atmosphere to reach its peak. However, even more people did not think highly of him. After all, Shinta Kuang and Shinta Yi were both level 3 Earth Beast generals. If the two of them joined forces, even Lin Fuxin would be defeated. What an interesting kid. On the other martial arena, Lin Fuxin glanced at the imposing Yi Chanfeng from the corner of his eyes filled with battle intent. Begin. Chapter 119. Ao. Li, a black ape and a green eagle appeared behind Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong. Soul power surged out from their bodies like raging waves. Wind Cry Sword, Shangwan Yuantong shouted. The high-grade spirit tool Wind Cry Sword let out an ear-piercing sword cry as it flew out of his Chinkoan bag. Under Shangwan Yuantong's control, it interweaved into streaks of fast sword rays that pierced towards Yi Chanfeng. What a fast sword! Senior brother Yuantong is indeed worthy of the title of soul-shaking sword. Ling Tian 12 spears. At the same time, Shangwan Yuantong used his fast sword to attack Shinta Kuang's sword into the sky. The high-grade spirit tool, green edge spear, in his hand twisted like a snake. Streaks of sharp spear rays pierced through the air and enveloped Yi Chanfeng. Facing a pincer attack, Yi Chanfeng's calm face did not have any change in expression. His body flashed as he rushed towards Shangwan Yuantong's sword. Chi! Yi Chunfeng's body was pierced by the streaks of sword rays that were close to the speed of light. Following that, he was incinerated by the spear rays that descended from the sky. It's over? Seeing Yi Chunfeng being engulfed by the streaks of sword rays and spear rays, Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong revealed a trace of astonishment. They were astonished that the battle had ended so easily. No, that was just an afterimage. Suddenly, Shangwan Yuantong felt an intense sense of danger behind him. His heart jumped, and he instinctively wanted to dodge. Shangwan Yuantong's reaction could be said to be extremely fast, but Yi Chunfeng's speed was even faster. His right hand, which was filled with tens of thousands of gene of strength, grabbed Shangwan Yuantong's shoulder. In the next moment, a powerful force erupted from his body like a volcano, instantly shattering Shangwan Yuantong's soul power. Like pulling out a radish, Shangwan Yuantong's entire body was forcefully pulled out. With a bang, he fell to the ground. What? How did senior brother Yi do it? How could he pass through such a fast sword ray and dodge to senior brother Shangwan's back? Are you stupid? Senior brother Yi dared to fight 1 against 2, so he naturally has something to rely on. Moreover, didn't you see that senior brother Yi still hasn't used his sword until now? As soon as this thin disciple spoke, everyone noticed that from the beginning until the end, Yi Chunfeng had been fighting with his bare hands, and he hadn't executed any unfathomable sword techniques. 12 spears of Ling Tian, overturning rivers and seas. The spear in Shinta Kuang's hand pierced through the air. The sharp spear light was like a rolling wave as it surged towards Yi Chunfeng. Shangwan Yuantong wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and quickly got up from the ground. He kept increasing his soul power and slashed out one sword shadow after another. In order to limit Yi Chunfeng's speed, Shangwan Yuantong increased the speed of his sword to the maximum. The dense sword shadows were too much for the eyes to take in. Seeing the flickering spear light and sword shadows in front of him, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly as he rushed forward again. Seeing that the spear light and sword shadows were about to pierce Yi Chunfeng's body, a silver light flashed under his feet as he used form displacement phantom. In an instant, 3 afterimages appeared and swept past the two's fierce attacks, closing in on them. What? How is this possible? Seeing Yi Chunfeng rely on speed to pass through the spear light and sword shadows, Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong's hearts were in turmoil. It was as if they had seen a ghost. Before they could react, Yi Chunfeng's fist, which was filled with 100,000 kilograms of strength, smashed into their chests. Although they instinctively formed their soul armors to defend themselves, they were still unable to block the 100,000 kilograms of strength that burst forth from Yi Chunfeng's fist. Kacha! 2 sounds rang out. Shinta Kuang's and Shangwan Yuantong's soul armor shattered. The extremely destructive power surged into their bodies, causing them to spit out large amounts of blood. Their bodies uncontrollably retreated, almost falling to the ground. How did you do it? Shangwan Yuantong couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng had actually used the most direct method to pass through his fastest attack. This greatly damaged his confidence. Your attack speed is really too slow. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing a proud smile as he said indifferently, Yi Chunfeng, don't be arrogant. Victory will definitely belong to us. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's unfathomable speed, Shinta Kuang knew that he had to use his final trump card. Otherwise, he and Shangwan Yuantong would have no chance. Black Ape Berserk. Shinta Kuang took a deep breath, suppressing the surging blood in his heart. He forcefully used the innate ability of his spiritual beast, the Black Ape. His entire body continued to expand as waves of berserk energy were emitted from his body. In an instant, Shinta Kuang reached the peak of a 3rd-rank Earth Beast General. His terrifying aura was close to that of a 4th-rank Earth Beast General. The Black Ape is indeed worthy of being a high-rank spiritual beast. This innate ability is too terrifying. Feeling the berserk energy emitted from Shinta Kuang's body, Hualing Feng praised. Shinta Kuang is not bad, but it's a pity that his opponent, Yi Chunfeng, is even more outstanding. Yi Chunfeng is basically going to win this match. Qian Daobai's eyes shot out rays of light as he said indifferently, "That's right. Yi Qinfeng's strongest isn't his fist, but his sword. Having comprehended sword force, he's extremely terrifying. I just don't know if Shinda Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong can force Yi Chunfeng to use his sword." Elder Lu nodded and agreed. Lingtian 12 spears, first spear cleaving dust. After using his berserk ability, Shinda Kuang, whose strength had reached the peak, roared. The spear in his hand turned into a stream of light, stirring the air as it pierced towards Yi Chunfeng. The azure edge spear streaked through the air, producing an ear-piercing sound of friction. A clear spear mark lingered in the air for a long time. Soul-shattering finger. Feeling the sharp attack of Shinto Kuang's spear, Yi Chunfeng poured 100,000 jin of strength and a strand of profound cold spirit water's cold qi into his finger. With the point of his finger, ripples appeared in the air. Qi. When Yi Chunfeng's finger and the azure edge spear came into contact, the two powerful forces immediately exploded. Although first spear cleaving dust was the most terrifying killing move of the Lingtian 12 spears, the soul-shattering finger that had fused 100,000 jin of strength and a strand of profound cold spirit water's cold qi was even more terrifying. The terrifying finger forcibly bent the azure edge spear, and a powerful rebounding force continuously surged into Shinda Kuang's arm, causing his arm to crack open and bleed. Half-Moon Sword Art. Yi Chunfeng's finger blocked the azure edge spear's attack. Shangwan Yuantong took the opportunity to use his killing move. A sharp half-moon sword image descended from the sky, chopping towards Yi Chunfeng. So, Yi Chunfeng's body slightly swayed, and in the blink of an eye, he made 3 miraculous dodges, avoiding the half-moon sword art's attack. Now it's my turn to attack. Pay attention. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up as he looked at the two with serious expressions. His body instantly turned into 3 fast afterimages, attacking Shinda Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong like a torrential rain. Although Shinda Kuang had used his berserk skill, and Shangwan Yuantong had continuously increased the speed of his sword, facing the unpredictable Yi Chunfeng, their attacks were pale and powerless. After about half an instance's time, the two's clothes were dyed red with blood. Blood continuously spurted out from their mouths, and they were unable to resist at all. More importantly, their martial hearts had been completely shattered by Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng's terror had become an insurmountable mountain in their hearts. "Yeah, you guys are too weak." Yi Chunfeng lightly shook his head, losing his patience. He instantly raised his physical strength to the peak, and 2 fists filled with 120,000 jin of strength shot out like 2 meteors, shattering their defenses and bombarding their chests. Pu. Chapter 120. Too strong. Senior brother Ye's strength is too strong. Senior brother Shintu, senior brother Shangwan is like a toddler in front of him. He's not a threat at all. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng's overwhelming victory over Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong, almost all the disciples present were convinced by Yi Chunfeng's strength. After defeating Shinta Kuang and Shangwan Yuantong, Yi Chunfeng successfully stood out in the third group and joined Fu Yuiwei and Lin Fuxin in the finals. Due to the group competition, Yi Chunfeng and the other two did not encounter any major problems. The 3 of them only needed to rest for half an hour before they completely recovered to their peak state. After drawing lots, the first match was between Fu Yuiwei and Lin Fuxin. The second match was between Lin Fuxin and Yi Chunfeng, and the third match was between Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yuiwei. Although the results of the draw were somewhat unfavorable to Yi Chunfeng, as he needed to continuously fight against the 2 top geniuses, Lin Fuxin and Fu Yuiwei. However, Yi Chunfeng was not affected at all. Silent, he sat on the sidelines and watched the match between Fu Yuiwei and Lin Fuxin. "Fu Yuiwei, I've wanted to fight you for a long time." Lin Fuxin looked at the sexy and expressionless Fu Yuiwei with a burning gaze. The battle intent in his body became stronger and stronger. "Lin Fuxin, you are not my opponent. I only need 1 slash to deal with you." Fu Yuiwei took out the upper-grade spirit weapon, Blood Moon Blade, from her heaven-earth pouch. She gently stroked the blood-red blade and said indifferently, "One slash." Lin Fuxin smiled arrogantly and said, "Then I'll see how you defeat me with one slash." Brute elephant fuse. When the match began, Lin Fuxin's body fused with his spiritual beast, brute elephant. The muscles in his body instantly swelled, and his strength rose steadily. Facing Fu Yuiwei, who had astonishing attack power, Lin Fuxin did not choose to defend. Instead, he took the initiative to attack. Billowing soul power merged into his palms. 8th level of Limitless Sandsho, Limitless Sky Splitting. A piercing roar came from Lin Fuxin's mouth. When he raised his power to its peak, he launched his strongest attack at Fu Yuiwei. A gigantic palm imprint filled with destructive power, as if it wanted to pierce through the sky, pressed towards the motionless Fu Yuiwei. 7th level of the void-shattering saber technique, mountain and river break. Fu Yuiwei's eyes narrowed. Her hot body and the blood moon blade in her hand merged into a special path. He slashed down, and the sharp light of the blade carried a power that made people despair. It slashed towards Lin Fuxin's Wuji, sky-breaking palm light. Chi! The sound of cloth being torn rang out. Lin Fuxin's boundless sky splitter was like tofu as it was cut by Fu Yuiwei's blade. The destructive power of the blade did not slow down as it struck Lin Fuxin's body. The blade broke through his body's defense and sent him flying. A large amount of blood flowed out from his chest. When Lin Fuxin, who was injured in the chest, wanted to get up quickly, Fu Yuiwei's cold blood moon blade was placed on his neck. She said without a trace of emotion, "Lin Fuxin, you lost. I admit defeat." After a year of hard work, Lin Fuxin's strength had improved by leaps and bounds. He thought that even if he could not defeat Fu Yuiwei, he could at least put up a fight. However, after the fight, he realized that Fu Yuiwei's growth was faster than his. She defeated him with just one move, which made his self-confidence suffer a huge blow. Blade Force. Fu Yuiwei has comprehended Blade Force. Feeling the destructive power of Fu Yuiwei's blade, Qin Daobai and the others who were sitting on the main stand were slightly moved. Blade Force was the same as Sword Force. It was something that swordsmen and swordsmen dreamed of. It could be said that swordsmen and swordsmen who comprehended Blade Force or Sword Force would have unlimited potential in the future. I wonder if Fu Yuiwei's Blade Force or Yi Chenfeng's Sword Force is stronger. When Yi Chenfeng fought with Shen Daheng, he had exposed his sword force. Therefore, after witnessing the scene of Fu Yuiwei comprehending Blade Force, Elder Lu and the others could not help but look forward to the fight between the two. Fu Yuiwei's attack just now was controlled very well and did not injure Lin Fuxin's body. Therefore, Lin Fuxin used an 8th grade pill to rest and recover in the time it took for 3 sticks of incense to burn. She had basically recovered from her injuries. Chenfeng, be careful. Although Lin Fuxin lost to Fu Yuiwei in one move, you must not underestimate his strength. He is very scary. Lin Keju, who lost to Lin Fuxin and was eliminated, reminded him softly. I will be careful. Yi Chenfeng nodded. His body flashed slightly and appeared in the middle of the battle arena. He looked at Lin Fuxin, who had recovered from her injuries and was breathing heavily. Yi Chenfeng, in fact, you're the person I'm looking forward to fighting the most. Let's compete in strength and see who is stronger. Lin Fuxin quickly walked out of the shadow of defeat and looked at Yi Chenfeng with high fighting spirit. All right, let's compete in strength. Yi Chenfeng smiled faintly and agreed without hesitation. Haha, great. You are really to my liking. Lin Fuxin laughed loudly. The elephant phantom appeared on his body again and increased his strength. With the perfect integration of Lin Fuxin's spirit beast, Yi Chenfeng's muscles vibrated and blue veins popped out like earthworms. A strong sense of oppression swept toward Yi Chenfeng. Lin Fuxin has integrated with his spirit beast, brute elephant. His physical strength is probably close to 90,000 pounds. Feeling the burst of oppression from Lin Fuxin's body, Yi Chenfeng vaguely guessed the limits of his physical body. Yi Qianfeng had never fought in a strength duel before, so he was full of anticipation for this battle. Begin. With Hu Lingfeng's order, Yi Qianfeng and Lin Fuxin moved at the same time. With a strong impact, they bombarded each other. When their fists collided, the huge impact made Lin Fuxin's body tremble slightly. However, neither of them retreated. They controlled the power in their bodies and continued to attack each other. Muffled, thunderous sounds rang out incessantly. Yi Qianfeng and Li Wuqian were like two humanoid monsters, fiercely exchanging blows. What a powerful strength! After fighting with Yi Qianfeng for the time it took for 2 incense sticks to burn, Lin Fuxin finally realized how terrifying Yi Qianfeng's power was. Even with his strength that was several times stronger than ordinary people, he was still not his opponent. Boom, boom. The two of them fought for hundreds of rounds. The powerful collision shook the ground under their feet and caused a lot of cracks to appear. The violent force swept in all directions, making the disciples of the martial house in the stands tremble with fear. Is this the strength of a human? I guess even a spirit beast is not as strong as them. The disciples of the martial house exclaimed. Yi Qianfeng, take my strongest move. Everlasting sky break. Lin Fuxin's blood and qi churned in her body. Her breathing quickened as she roared. She pushed her strength to the limit and formed a huge grayish-brown handprint. With a powerful destructive force, she attacked Yi Qianfeng. Cloud break palm. Feeling that Lin Fuxin's everlasting sky break had exceeded his strength limit, Yi Qianfeng did not dare to be careless and immediately counterattacked with a cloud break palm. The two palm prints bombarded together, and the explosive force was earth-shattering. A bright halo of energy spread out in all directions. In the dazzling halo of energy, a figure who lost control of his body slashed through the halo and fell out of the arena, losing the match. Chapter 121. He won. Senior brother Yi defeated senior brother Lin. Seeing Lin Fuxin fall out of the arena, covered in blood and unable to get up for a long time, the entire arena became noisy. Do you guys think the champion will be senior sister Fu or senior brother Lin? Many people started to compare Yi Qianfeng and Fu Yue. Senior sister Fu should be more powerful. After all, senior sister Fu killed 3 Class 5 Earth Beast generals single-handedly and defeated senior brother Lin with a single slash. I also think that senior sister Fu is powerful. Senior brother Yi doesn't have a high chance of winning. Although Yi Qianfeng had defeated all his opponents and had a strong performance, Fu You's performance was even more heaven-defying. Almost no one could withstand a single slash from her. Therefore, more people were optimistic about Fu Yue and thought that she would be the champion. What a terrifying soul skill. The palm print that Yi Qianfeng used just now. Could it be a high-ranked Earth-class soul skill? Thinking back to the scene where Yi Qianfeng sent Lin Fuxin flying with a single palm, Qian Daobai revealed an extremely shocked expression. He had a feeling that Yi Qianfeng's cloud-collapsing palm might be stronger than his. Yi Qianfeng, how long do you need to rest? Do you need to continue the final battle with Fu Yue tomorrow? During the fair period, Qian Daobai slowly stood up from his seat and asked in a deep voice. No need. Give me 5 minutes to recover. Yi Qianfeng shook his head and said. Although Yi Qianfeng's battle with Lin Fuxin seemed intense, his physical recovery ability was extremely terrifying as he had cultivated his 6 Meridian Divine Shield to the 3rd level. 5 minutes was enough for him to recover his exhausted energy and adjust his body to its peak state. Good. In that case, I will give you the time it takes for an incense stick to burn to recover. After that, we will begin the final battle. Qian Daobai looked at Yi Qianfeng with a deep gaze, nodded, and announced. 1 incense stick of time. When Fu Yue heard that Yi Qianfeng only needed 30 minutes to recover, a trace of surprise flashed across her beautiful eyes. She glanced at Yi Qianfeng, who was sitting cross-legged on the martial stage, adjusting his breathing to recover. She closed her eyes again, waiting for the arrival of the final battle. The time it took for an incense stick to burn passed by quickly. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Yi Qinfeng completely recovered his physical strength. He slowly stood up and said, "Manor Lord, I have completely recovered. I can begin the competition." Buzz. As soon as Yi Qinfeng finished speaking, Fu Yue, who was sitting cross-legged on the spectator's stand, opened her eyes. Her body suddenly leaped up like a saber, streaking across the sky and landing on the battle arena. Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up when he felt the powerful blade aura emanating from Fu Yue's body. The sword aura in his body gushed out uncontrollably and collided with Fu Yue's blade aura. Rumble! When the sword aura and blade aura collided, it immediately set off a monstrous wave in the air. The powerful aura made many of the martial house disciples in the spectators' stand feel suffocated. Sword aura. Senior brother Yi has actually comprehended sword aura. How? How did he cultivate? Lin Fuxin, who had lost to Yi Qinfeng, was seriously injured. He rubbed his red and swollen chest and muttered to himself, "Abnormal. This Yi Qinfeng is indeed the same as Fu Yue. They are both abnormal." At this moment, he was completely convinced by Yi Qinfeng's strength. He wholeheartedly accepted his loss. "Yi Qinfeng, you are not bad. Your growth speed has exceeded my expectations. I hope that you will not disappoint me when we fight later." Fu Yue opened her moist mouth slightly and said coldly when she sensed that her blade aura was unable to do anything to Yi Qinfeng's sword aura. "Don't worry, you will be satisfied." Yi Qinfeng looked at Fu Yue's cold face and replied indifferently. The coiling dragon-heavy sword, which weighed 3,000 jin, appeared in his hand. The sharp sword aura continued to rise. "Begin!" With Qian Daobai's command, the final battle began. Boom! The blade aura in Fu Yue's body was completely released. She had yet to draw her blade, but it gave off a domineering aura. The terrifying aura was enough to shatter one's courage. Swoosh! The earth-shattering blade aura attacked. Yi Qinfeng immediately drew his sword. A glaring sword ray swept across the sky. It tore apart the blade aura and attacked Fu Yue. Break! Fu Yue's pupils shrank. The blood moon blade in her hand slashed out. The terrifying blade ray shattered Yi Qinfeng's sword ray. So strong. This Fu Yue is indeed the #1 genius of the Sky Fire Martial House. Her attack power is probably the same as mine, surpassing a 6th grade Earth Beast General. After witnessing the power of Fu Yue's blade, Yi Qinfeng also had a competitive spirit. However, he did not want to reveal his 2 trump cards, the profound Frost Spirit Water and the Extermination Sword Art. He constantly urged his sword aura to attack. In an instant, the entire arena was filled with blade rays and sword shadows. Boundless energy swept across the surroundings. The arena, which was made of special materials, was trembling violently. Sky-breaking blade art, mountain, and river break. The blade aura was unable to suppress Yi Qinfeng. Fu Yue's slender legs suddenly exerted strength. Her graceful body swept across the sky. A ferocious and overbearing blade, ray, slashed through the void towards Yi Qinfeng. 120,000 jin of strength explode. Yi Qinfeng's pupils shrank. All the strength in his body exploded and poured into the coiling dragon-heavy sword. He activated the 9 great offensive array patterns in the heavy sword and slashed out. Boom! The blade rays and sword shadows collided. The sky was filled with sword chi and blade rays that flew in all directions. The sturdy arena was riddled with holes. The terrifying attack deeply shocked the hearts of the martial house disciples in the spectator stands. How is this possible? How can that little bastard be so strong? Shin Dequang was deeply shocked by Yi Qinfeng's astonishing strength. He revealed a complicated expression of despair, unwillingness, and helplessness. With the strength that Yi Qinfeng had displayed, he knew that he would never be able to surpass him in this lifetime. Sky-breaking blade art, splitting heaven and earth. The moment Fu Yue landed on the arena, her entire body fused with the blood moon blade. She slashed out the 8th move of the sky-breaking blade art at Yi Qinfeng. The scarlet red blade ray seemed to fuse with endless flames as it tore through the air and slashed towards Yi Chenfeng. Collapsing cloud palm. Feeling the terror of Fu Yoyue's blade, Yi Chenfeng suddenly took a step forward. All the strength in his body and soul power surged into his right palm. 3 overlapping collapsing cloud palm surged out. One palm imprinted on the scarlet red blade ray, resisting Fu Yoyue's 8th move of the sky-breaking blade art. Rumble! A thunderous sound exploded. A powerful force swept through the heavens and earth, nearly shattering the arena that was filled with cracks. Dang dang! Although Yi Chenfeng's collapsing cloud palm was able to resist Fu Yoyue's 8th move of the sky-breaking blade art, he was still forced back 3 steps by the terrifying recoil. The blood in his body was violently tumbling. Fu Yue did not feel good either. Her cold face flushed red, and her breathing became hurried. Her right hand that was holding the blood moon blade tightly had a trace of blood flowing out. Palace Lord, who do you think will have the last laugh between the two of them? Vice Palace Lord Huoling Feng was shaken to the core by the two's shocking strength. He had to admit that both Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yoyue's attack power surpassed his. I can't tell either. However, based on their current situation, the results of the competition should be revealed soon. Qian Daobai looked at Yi Chenfeng and Fu Yue with a burning gaze and said with some anticipation, "Senior Sister Fu, it's my turn to attack." Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. Sword Force Second Heaven gushed out from his body and soared into the sky. Sword Force Second Heaven. Chapter 122. Second Heaven of Sword Force. Yi Chenfeng actually comprehended the second heaven of Sword Force. He doesn't seem to be 17 years old yet. Hearing Fu Yue's exclamation, Qian Daobai suddenly stood up from his chair. His turbid eyes stared at Yi Chenfeng. His eyes were filled with shock. Shifting phantom shadow. Under everyone's dumbfounded gazes, Yi Chenfeng's feet flashed with a silver light. He instantly transformed into 3 afterimages and launched a fierce attack at Fu Yue. Although Yi Chenfeng didn't use any soul skills, every sword of his was filled with the second heaven of Sword Force. The terrifying sword aura gradually suppressed Fu Yoyue's attack. The two of them fought with speed. Afterimages of speed constantly intertwined in the shattered martial arena. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged dozens of moves. Many of the weaker disciples couldn't even catch sight of their figures. The soul-stirring battle shook the hearts of all the disciples. Sky-breaking blade art, heaven and earth rend. Fu Yue's attacks were slowly suppressed by Yi Chenfeng. She took a deep breath and stomped on the ground. Amidst the crisscrossing sword light, she swept into the air and slashed out the 8th style of the sky-breaking blade art. She broke Yi Chenfeng's continuous attacks and forced him to retreat. Yi Chenfeng, you are indeed a good opponent. Although she forced Yi Chenfeng back, Fu Yue's consumption was obvious. She knew that her chances were getting smaller. If she couldn't defeat Yi Chenfeng in one move, she would be the one to lose. You are not bad too. Yi Chenfeng panted. After exchanging blows with Fu Yue, he had gained a lot of insights. Especially the blade force that Fu Yue executed, it deepened his understanding of sword force. Boom! Yi Chenfeng stomped on the ground. He didn't give Fu Yue any chance to take a breather and continued to attack her. 120,000 pounds of strength erupt. With a thrust of his sword, Yi Chenfeng activated his 6th Meridian Divine Shield. His entire body's strength exploded once again as he thrust his sword towards Fu Yue's chest. When Fu Yue raised her saber to counterattack and forcefully broke apart Yi Chenfeng's powerful strike, Yi Chenfeng flicked his wrist, and streaks of lightning-like sword light shot out. With an ear-piercing sound, they continuously attacked Fu Yue's body. The second heaven of sword force completely disrupted Fu Yue's attack rhythm, quickly depleting the soul power in her body. With her attacks completely suppressed, Fu Yue, who was continuously retreating, bit the tip of her tongue fiercely. A large green rock appeared on her body and let out a piercing whistle at Yi Chenfeng, interrupting Yi Chenfeng's attack. Azure Sky Rock Bloodline. When the azure sky Pong turned into endless bloody light and entered her body, a powerful bloodline power awakened in her body, constantly increasing her strength. Bloodline power. Fu Yue actually has the soul beast bloodline flowing in her body. It was the first time Qian Daobai and the others saw Fu Yue use her bloodline power, and they were a little surprised by her identity. In the fighting spirit continent, not everyone had a soul beast, and those who had the soul beast bloodline power were even rarer. Generally, those who had the bloodline power came from their family bloodline inheritance. From this point of view, Fu Yue's identity was not simple. 5th grade Beast General. Sensing that Fu Yue had used her bloodline power to increase her strength, Yi Chenfeng could not help but reveal a trace of seriousness. Obviously, Fu Yue's strength and trump cards were beyond his expectations, and he smelled the scent of danger. Yi Chenfeng, it's over. Heaven and earth split. Fu Yue, whose strength had skyrocketed and soul power gushed out, roared loudly. The blood moon saber in her hand turned into a bloody light and slashed towards Yi Chenfeng with a thunderous force. After activating her bloodline power, Fu Yue's strength and attack speed had been greatly increased. The sharp saber light left a long saber mark in the air. The moment the saber light approached, the coiling dragon heavy sword's 9 major attack patterns were activated at the same time. Yi Chenfeng controlled the second heaven of sword force and merged it with his physical strength and struck the bloody saber light. Buzz! Countless sparks sputtered out like blossoming flowers of sparks, gorgeous and hair-raising. Cloud-breaking palm. The moment the two attacks collided, Yi Chenfeng quickly struck out a palm. The extremely penetrating cloud-breaking palm directly pierced through the bloody saber light and struck towards Fu Yue's chest. Swoosh! After activating her bloodline power, Fu Yue's movement speed was greatly increased. Her body flashed slightly and turned into a green light, dodging the cloud-breaking palm attack. Annihilation Sword Art, Cloud Piercing. Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank as he locked onto Fu Yue, who had dodged to the side. A cloud-piercing sword shadow that was faster than the speed of light shot out and slashed towards Fu Yue, whose expression changed slightly. Although the Annihilation Sword Art and Cloud-Breaking Palm were both Earth-class soul skills, when Yi Chenfeng executed the Annihilation Sword Art, he had merged the second heaven of Sword Force. Therefore, the Annihilation Sword Art's attack power was far superior to Cloud-Breaking Palm. What a fast sword speed! Fu Yue did not expect Yi Chenfeng's sword to be so fast. In the blink of an eye, it was right in front of her. She had no way of dodging it. Mountain River Slash. At the critical moment, the saber force in Fu Yue's body erupted like a volcano. A Milky Way-like saber light slashed towards the cloud piercing that was rapidly approaching. Kachacha. The sound of the air being torn apart could be heard. Streams of turbulent air were scattered everywhere. PFFF. Facing Yi Chenfeng's cloud-piercing head-on, Fu Yue only felt her body tremble. A powerful sword chi broke through her defense and drilled into her body. It damaged her meridians, and she spat out a mouthful of blood uncontrollably. Fu Yue is injured. Even after activating her Azure Sky Rock bloodline, she is still not Yi Chenfeng's opponent. Huo Feng looked at Fu Yue, who was spitting out blood and retreating. He let out an incredulous cry. Another high-ranked, earth-ranked soul skill. Yi Chenfeng, you're really surprising me more and more. Could it be that the death of the Dark Radiant sect is related to you? Qian Daobai's eyes shot out rays of light as he stared at Yi Chenfeng. It was as if he wanted to see through him. Yi Chenfeng, I still have a move that I have not used. If you can block it, I will admit defeat in this competition. Fu Yue, whose face was slightly pale, said softly as she wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. All right, then let's settle this in one move. Yi Chenfeng also wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. He nodded and said, Void-splitting blade art, 9 style, void-splitting blade. Fu Yue roared. Her soul power was raised to the limit. The blood moon in her hand also shone with endless bloodlight, illuminating the heaven and earth. With a slash, the blood-red blade light was like a blood-red dragon, splitting the heaven and earth. It slashed towards Yi Chunfeng with a force that could break the void. The terrifying blade aura made all the disciples of the martial house feel suffocated. It was as if doomsday had arrived. With this slash, Fu Yue's soul power was almost depleted. She had no choice but to stab the blood moon blade into the ground to support her body. Annihilation sword art, wind, shadow, slash. Looking at the blood-red blade light that slashed through the sky, Yi Qinfeng's body suddenly flashed. A half-moon sword shadow tore through the layers of air. It extended for more than 10 meters and slashed together with the blood-red blade light, forming a powerful storm. After the two attacks clashed in midair for 2 breaths, Fu Yue's void-splitting blade suddenly showed crisscrossing cracks. It was broken by the wind shadow slash that was filled with 2 sword auras. Pu. Chapter 123. Senior sister Fu has lost. Senior brother Yi has the last laugh. Looking at Yi Qinfeng, whose clothes were severely damaged and whose coiling dragon sword was stabbed into the ground to support his weak body, the disciples of the martial house revealed a look of awe. He won. Qinfeng really defeated senior sister Fu. Lin Kerzu covered her mouth tightly with her snow-white hands, try her best not to lose her composure and cry out in alarm. However, Yi Qinfeng's unparalleled figure was deeply imprinted in the depths of her soul and could not be dispelled. Good, very good. Yi Qinfeng, you really didn't disappoint me. Yi Qinfeng being able to defeat Fu Yue in the most direct way was out of Qian Daobai's expectation. After all, Fu Yue had just used her bloodline power to raise her cultivation by a small realm. Other than being shocked, Qian Daobai's heart was more gratified and excited. With the strength that Yi Qinfeng and Fu Yue had displayed, they were definitely not inferior to the sex geniuses. Their chances of obtaining great opportunities in the true spirit secret realm had increased by a lot. And if Yi Qinfeng and Fu Yue obtained great opportunities in the true spirit secret realm, he would also be able to benefit from it. Yi Qinfeng, Fu Yue, Lin Fuxin, this is your reward. 3 spirit-level soul pills. Keep them well. Qian Daobai took out 3 white jade porcelain bottles from his cosmos bag and gave them to Yi Qinfeng and the other 2. All right, the 3 of you go back and have a good rest. Prepare well. When the true spirit's secret realm is about to open, I will inform you and bring you there. Qian Daobai said, Yes, martial house master. After speaking, Yi Qinfeng and the other 2 left the martial house under the respectful gazes of the crowd and returned to their respective residences to rest. Returning to the small courtyard built on the cliff, Yi Qinfeng immediately activated the restriction runes and covered the entire courtyard. He took out 2 mid-grade soul crystals and held them in his hand. He circulated the soul-devouring art to devour the pure soul power to heal himself. In the battle with Fu Yue, Yi Qinfeng had been severely injured, but he had also gained a lot of insights. While he was healing, he continued to integrate his insights from the battle to deepen his understanding of sword momentum. After about a day or so, Yi Qinfeng had basically recovered from his injuries. With the help of the God Eater Brain's powerful comprehension, he fused his battle comprehension into his sword force and captured a trace of the 3rd heaven of sword force. However, every increase in sword force was a qualitative leap. It was unrealistic for Yi Qinfeng to want to comprehend the 3rd layer of sword force in a short period of time. After some contemplation, he decided to use the limited time he had to break through to the 4th layer of Earth Beast General. 3 Revolutions Soul Condensing Pill, the highest quality of spirit-grade soul pills. It's refined from 100 types of spirit herbs. After consuming it, it can form a large amount of soul power in a body, and it has very little pill poison. Yi Qinfeng controlled the God Eater Brain and scanned the bottle. There were 3 elixir veins on the surface of the bottle. It was entirely green and emitted a faint fragrance. The name, grade, and effects of this elixir immediately appeared in his mind. After learning the effects of the 3 Revolutions Soul Condensing Pill, Yi Chunfeng swallowed it without hesitation. He circulated the soul, devouring art at high speed, refining and absorbing the powerful medicinal energy released by the three revolutions soul condensing pill to break through to the fourth layer of Earth Beast General. As the three revolutions soul condensing pill completely melted, waves of energy were released from Yi Chunfeng's body like a tide. However, the energy contained in the three revolutions soul condensing pill was not violent, and Yi Chunfeng did not feel much pain. The gentle energy flowed along the meridians in Yi Chunfeng's body, continuously circulating around his body. It fused into his meridians, flesh, and blood, increasing his soul power. Yi Chunfeng had obtained a spirit-level soul pill when he had killed the dim radiant sect. With the help of that pill, his cultivation had already reached the peak of the third layer of Earth Beast General. Now that he had taken the even more powerful three revolutions soul condensing pill, his soul power had become even more vigorous, and the bottleneck of his cultivation was constantly loosening. If not for Yi Chunfeng constantly suppressing his cultivation, he would have broken through to the fourth layer of Earth Beast General long ago. Roughly a day later, Yi Chunfeng's soul power was finally overflowing. The vigorous soul power directly broke through the bottleneck, and he smoothly broke through to the next layer. Fourth layer of Earth Beast General. Feeling the change in his cultivation, Yi Chunfeng opened his tightly shut eyes, a faint smile on his face. After breaking through to the next layer, Yi Chunfeng felt that a third of the three revolutions soul condensing pill's medicinal energy remained in his body. His breakthrough this time was the result of his overflowing soul power, and he did not need to consolidate his cultivation. Meridians fuse. Yi Chunfeng circulated his 6 meridians divine shield, slowly fusing the remaining 3 revolutions soul condensing pill's medicinal energy into his meridians. He began to cultivate the 4th layer of the 6 meridians divine shield, the muscle refinement realm. However, the muscle refinement realm was more difficult to cultivate than the viscera refinement realm and required more energy. Yi Chunfeng's meridians had fused with a third of the 3 revolutions soul condensing pill's medicinal energy, and there was almost no change. So it looks like I have to think of other ways to cultivate the muscle refinement realm to the realm of great success. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and dismissed the idea of cultivating the muscle refinement realm to the realm of small success. He took out the Sword Force manual that Shui Piaoling had left for him and continued to study it. Just as Yi Chunfeng was hiding in a small courtyard and carefully comprehending the Sword Force scroll, an unexpected person suddenly appeared and paid him a visit. "Senior Sister Fu, are you looking for me for something?" Yi Chunfeng looked at Fu Yuiwei, who was wearing a long black dress, had a tall figure, a unique temperament, and an expressionless face, and asked softly. From the aura that Fu Yuiwei's body inadvertently leaked out, she had also broken through to the realm of a 5th grade Earth Beast General. "I want to spar with you." Fu Yue looked at Yi Chunfeng's chiseled face, which was very pleasing to the eye. She slightly opened her rosy lips and said sparingly, "Okay, let's go to the Great Soul Arena." Yi Chunfeng had gained a lot from the battle with Fu Yue, so he did not reject her challenge and came to the Great Soul Arena with her. Soon, the news of their battle in the Great Soul Arena spread throughout the Sky Fire Martial House. A large number of Martial House disciples poured into the Great Soul Arena to watch their battle. Yi Chunfeng had broken through to the next realm, and his strength had increased a lot, but after his battle with Fu Yue, he discovered that her strength had also increased by leaps and bounds. But this time, the two of them only wanted to comprehend the concept of battle, and had no intention of determining the winner or loser, so although their battle seemed intense, it was not dangerous. About 3 hours later, the exhausted and close to collapse, 2 people tacitly stopped fighting at the same time. They left the shattered Great Soul Arena and returned to their respective courtyards to sort out their comprehensions from the battle. Time passed day by day. Yi Chunfeng and Fu Yue fought once every 10 days or so, and their comprehension of sword and saber force deepened with each battle. Yi Qinfeng, take my saber. Fu Yue, who was wearing a tight black dress and looked like a dark elf, roared. A saber force that made people stop breathing gushed out and fused into the Blood Moon saber. With a slash, saber chi crisscrossed, and an unparalleled saber light ruthlessly slashed towards Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng's saber light was shattered by Fu Yue's saber. The powerful saber light ruthlessly slashed onto the coiling dragon-heavy sword, causing Yi Qinfeng's chi and blood to churn. He retreated, and a stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Second-level saber force. Feeling that Fu Yue's saber was filled with destructive power, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed slightly, and he cried out in surprise. Are you surprised? Fu Yue's rosy lips curled up slightly, and a rare, stunning smile appeared on her frosty but exceptionally beautiful face. She said, "You're not the only one who can comprehend second-level concept in the Earth Beast general realm." Chapter 124. In the early morning, rays of gentle sunlight penetrated through the clouds and shone on one's face. It was warm and sunny. Ever since Fu Yue comprehended the second heaven of sword force, she did not disturb him. As for Yi Qinfeng, he spent the rest of his time comprehending the sword force and gradually grasped the essence of the third heaven of sword force. The mansion master has summoned me. Just as Yi Qinfeng was sitting cross-legged under the ancient tree in the courtyard and was in a state of meditation, the communication pearl in Yi Qinfeng's arms suddenly vibrated. Gan Daobai's voice was heard from the communication pearl. It seems like the true spirit's secret realm is going to open soon. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and had no choice but to stop his epiphany. He stood up slowly and left the quiet courtyard. He came to the meeting hall and saw Fu Yue, who was as cold as ice. Lin Fuxin, who was tall and sturdy, had arrived early. After refining the spirit-level soul elixir, Lin Fuxin had also made a breakthrough and became a fourth-grade Earth Beast General. Mansion Master. Yi Qinfeng nodded at Fu Yue and Lin Fuxin before walking in front of Gan Daobai. I called all three of you here today because there's still a week before the true spirit's secret realm opens. I've decided to bring all of you to the black swamp outside the true spirit's secret realm tomorrow morning to wait for the secret realm to open. The true spirit's secret realm opens once every 3 years and lasts for a month each time. Although there are countless opportunities and treasures in the secret realm, it is also accompanied by great danger. Every time the true spirit's secret realm opens, there will be a large number of prodigious disciples who will lose their lives in there. According to past experience, most of the prodigious disciples who lost their lives in the true spirit's secret realm were mostly killed by prodigies from other sections. So when all of you enter the true spirit's secret realm, you have to be careful of the prodigious disciples from other sects and martial houses. Be careful of their sneak attacks and robberies. Gan Daobai reminded them seriously. Mansion Master, didn't the 3 major sects forbid their disciples from killing each other? Also, why can't Earth Beast Generals and above enter the true spirit's secret realm? Lin Fuxin asked doubtfully. Fu Yue and Lin Fuxin were rising stars in the past 2 years. They had never entered the true spirit realm, so they did not know much about it. I don't know why Earth Beast Generals and above can't enter the true spirit secret realm, but there were heavenly beast immortals and even Shin Beast sect experts who took the risk to enter, but they were instantly crushed by the true spirit's secret realm's spatial power. Apart from the experts who have surpassed the Earth Beast General realm, the Earth Beast Generals who are over 30 years old cannot enter the true spirit's secret realm either. Otherwise, they will be torn apart by the space power contained in the true spirit's secret realm. The 3 sects indeed strictly forbid their disciples from killing each other. However, the true spirit's secret realm is too big, and there are dangers everywhere. As long as one does it cleanly and without leaving any traces, the 3 sects can't do anything without any evidence. Qian Daobai explained. All right, Qinfeng, I've also received a piece of bad news for you. I heard that among the 10 Earth Beast General disciples selected by the Heavenly Fire sect to enter the true spirit's secret realm, Yu Shanxian is one of them. After a period of bitter cultivation, he has broken through to the level 6 Earth Beast General Realm. Qian Daobai reminded. Yu Shanxian. Hearing this news, Yi Qinfeng's face was expressionless. However, he had a trace of killing intent in his heart. He knew that if he were to meet Yu Shanxian in the true spirit's secret realm, they would definitely fight to the death. As for Yu Shanxian's strength, Yi Qinfeng did not take it to heart. As long as he was given the chance, he was confident that he could defeat Yu Shanxian. Thank you for telling me, Martial House Master. I will be careful. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, if you're able to obtain a great opportunity in the true spirit's secret realm, you can offer it to the Heavenly Fire Sect. That way, other than receiving generous rewards, you can also directly enter the Heavenly Fire Sect and become an inner disciple. All right, I've said all that needs to be said. The rest will depend on your abilities. I hope that you can find your own opportunity in the true spirit's secret realm and return safely. Martial House Master, we will not embarrass the Heavenly Fire Martial House. Lin Fuxin clenched her fists and said solemnly, all right, tomorrow morning, we will leave for the Blackpool Swamp. Go back and have a good rest. Qian Daobai nodded and said. He was worried for Yi Qinfeng. He was worried that Yu Shanxian would join forces with the Heavenly Fire Sect to take revenge on him. If that was the case, Yi Qinfeng would be in great danger. The next morning, Yi Qinfeng and the other two gathered at the mountain gate of the Heavenly Fire Martial House. Under the escort of Qian Daobai and Huoling Feng, they rode on 2 green-winged doves and left the Heavenly Fire Martial House. They flew towards the Blackpool Swamp that was tens of thousands of miles away. 5 days later, 2 green-winged doves spread their wings and broke through the thick clouds. They flew into the complicated terrain of the Blackpool Swamp that was filled with a large amount of fog and danger. The true spirit's secret realm is at the core of the Blackpool Swamp. We will fly there directly. Qian Daobai stood on the head of one of the green-winged doves and looked into the distance. Martial House Master, what is that in front? The 2 green-winged doves flapped their huge wings and flew rapidly above the Blackpool Swamp. Yi Qinfeng looked through the misty clouds and saw a large amount of red light in front of them. That is the guiding red light. It comes from the true spirit's secret realm. When the guiding red light reaches a certain amount, it will form the entrance of the secret realm. At that time, you will be able to enter the true spirit's secret realm. Qian Daobai said, let's go down. When the 2 green-winged doves got close to the guiding red light, they immediately became restless. Sensing the fear of the green-winged doves, Qian Daobai didn't dare to get close to them. He ordered them to fly down from the 9 heavens. They passed through the thick clouds and landed in the damp swamp. Yes, I didn't expect them to arrive first. When the 2 green-winged doves landed in the Blackpool Swamp, Qian Daobai saw from afar that there were more than 10 figures stationed under the guiding red light, waiting for the true spirit's secret realm to open. They are from the Wind Cloud Martial House and the Thunder Mountain Martial House. The tall and sturdy Lin Fuxin recognized them with a single glance. His eyes were filled with a strong battle intent. Yi Qinfeng, that man with the black robe and the scar at the corner of his eye, is called Huang Lin. He is the strongest expert of the Wind Cloud Martial House. His strength is terrifying. I once fought with him in the past and lost to him by half a move. Just when Yi Qinfeng was secretly sizing up the Wind Cloud Martial House and the Thunder Mountain Martial House's disciples, Fu Yoyue's mouth moved slightly, and her voice was transmitted into his ears. This Huang Lin is so strong. Yi Qinfeng followed Fu Yoyue's cold gaze and saw Huang Lin sitting cross-legged on the ground, emitting a dangerous aura. This Huang Lin is a spear genius. However, when I lost him, I didn't activate my bloodline power and only comprehended half-step blade force. If I were to fight with him now, I am confident that I can cut him down. Apart from the Wind Cloud Martial House's Huang Lin, the Thunder Mountain Martial House's Yi Kersen is also not to be underestimated. At least 5,000 people have died in his hands. Fu Yue explained. I was wondering why this person couldn't hide his killing intent. It turns out that he walks the Tao of killing and intentionally condenses his killing intent. Yi Chenfeng glanced at Yi Curson, who was wearing a dark red robe and had a slightly pale face filled with murderous intent. He paid special attention to him. Apart from the two of them, the other disciples are nothing to be afraid of. However, our main competitors this time are from the three great sects. If I'm not mistaken, the disciples selected by the three great sects to enter the true spirit secret realm should all be 6th grade Earth Beast Generals. Fu Yue continued to transmit her voice. Qin Daobai, is there no one else in the Sky Fire Marshal House? Why did you choose 2 4th grade Earth Beast Generals to enter the true spirit secret realm? It's rare for you to send them in as cannon fodder. Just as Yi Chenfeng and the other 4 were choosing a place to set up camp and waiting for the true spirit secret realm to open, an aquiline-nosed old man from the Wind Cloud Marshal House glanced at Yi Chenfeng and the other 2 and mocked them. Yin Kongshui, your mouth is still so smelly. Qin Daobai looked at his old rival and retorted, your mouth is so foul. Be careful that your disciples will suffer retribution. You. Hearing Qin Daobai's retort, Yin Kongshui's face instantly darkened. His sunken eyes shot out a ruthless light. Just as the atmosphere was getting tense, an ear-piercing bird cry came from afar. 4 fire-wing wind birds flapped their fiery red wings and flew over. Chapter 125. Our Heavenly Fire Sex experts are here. Qin Daobai glanced at the 4 fire-wing wind birds that were rapidly approaching. Qingfeng, when you see Yu Shanxian later, you must restrain yourself and try not to clash with him, lest he finds an excuse to kill you. Yi Chenfeng nodded, but he didn't intend to restrain himself. He knew that with Yu Shanxian's vengeful character, he wouldn't let him go even if he restrained himself. Furthermore, Yi Chenfeng also wanted to kill Yu Shanxian. If it wasn't for Xue Piaoling's help, he would have been killed by the Dark Radiant sect. Screech, the 4 firewing wind birds let out a long cry, bringing along a huge gust of wind as they descended. When the 3 Marshal House's flying spirit beasts sensed the powerful aura released by the firewing wind birds, they were obviously anxious and didn't dare to approach them. Disciple Qin Daobai greets the Sword Hall Master. When Qin Daobai saw a white-robed, white-haired, ruddy-faced old man with snow-white hair and beard who exuded a fierce aura, jumped down from the firewing wind bird, he immediately walked forward and respectfully bowed like a disciple. Hall Master, hearing how Qin Daobai addressed the youthful-faced elder, Yi Chenfeng revealed a trace of surprise. He didn't expect that the Heavenly Fire Sect would send one of the 4 Hall Masters, the Sword Hall Master, to hold the fort when the true spirit's secret realm opened. The Hall Master's position in the Heavenly Fire Sect surpassed the Elders and was second only to the Sect Master. The Sword Hall Master had the strongest offensive power among the 4 Hall Masters. It was enough to show the importance the Heavenly Fire Sect placed on the true spirit's secret realm. Daobai, you have left the Heavenly Fire Sect for 10 years, right? The Sword Hall Master looked at the bowing Qin Daobai without any expression on his face as he asked in a deep voice. Disciple has left the Heavenly Fire Sect for 11 years and 3 months. Qin Daobai respectfully said, but Disciple is slow-witted and my spiritual beast is unable to transform, so I haven't been able to break through to the Heaven Beast Immortal Realm. If your Heavenly Fire Sect's disciple can find a great opportunity for my Heavenly Fire Sect in the true spirit secret realm, I will reward you with an Immortal Ascension Pill to help you break through to the Heaven Beast Immortal Realm. The Sword Hall Master promised. Thank you, Hall Leader. Hearing the Sword Hall Master's promise, Qin Daobai was overjoyed. If he could obtain an Immortal Ascension Elixir, he was 90% sure that his spiritual beast would transform and break through to the 1st grade Heavenly Beast Immortal Realm. Yi Chenfeng, we meet again. Who would have thought that your life would be so tough to survive until now? Behind the Sword Hall's Hall Master, the dim Radiant Sect's Hall Master saw Yi Chenfeng, who had a straight back and an expressionless face. His pupils constricted as he mocked with ill intentions. You're not dead yet, so how can I bear to die before you? Yi Chenfeng smiled and retorted without holding back. Just as Yi Qinfeng finished speaking, the Sword Hall Master and other experts of the Heavenly Fire sect shifted their gazes to Yi Qinfeng. Even the Wind Cloud Martial House and Thunder Mountain Martial House's experts were looking at him. They were shocked that a mere disciple of a martial house dared to openly challenge the genius disciple of the Heavenly Fire sect, Yu Shanxian. Haha, I won't die so easily, but you might not. Yu Shanxian's eyes flashed with killing intent as he laughed arrogantly. Wishes are beautiful, but reality is cruel. Yu Shanxian, you better believe in fate. Yi Qinfeng sneered and retorted. What's wrong, Yi Qinfeng? Do you want me to die so badly? Yu Shanxian's face sank as he spoke gloomily. It's not that I want you to die, it's that they want you to die. So, before you bite someone, you should clearly see who your enemy is. Don't bite randomly like a mad dog. Yi Qinfeng mocked without holding back. You dare to call me a mad dog? Yu Shanxian thought that he was arrogant enough, but he didn't expect that Yi Qinfeng would be even more arrogant than him. He actually dared to insult him in public. A surge of murderous aura was emitted from his body, suppressing Yi Qinfeng. What's wrong? You're angry? I thought you were quite magnanimous. The corner of Yi Qinfeng's mouth curled up slightly. A sharp sword aura gushed out from his body, tearing apart the pressure released by Yu Shanxian. Sword aura. Feeling the sword aura gushing out from Yi Qinfeng's body, the Sword Hall Master's snow-white eyebrows twitched slightly. The way he looked at Yi Qinfeng changed greatly. The disciples of the Heavenly Fire sect behind him, as well as the people from the Wind Cloud Martial Mansion and the Thunder Mountain Martial Mansion, were also shocked. Even in the Heavenly Fire sect's Sword Hall, only one disciple had comprehended sword aura. That genius disciple had already broken through to the Heaven Beast Immortal Realm when he comprehended sword aura. The power of his sword aura was far inferior to Yi Qinfeng's. Yi Qinfeng, don't think that you can fight me just because you comprehended sword aura. Let me tell you, I can crush you as easily as crushing an ant. After being slapped in the face by Yi Qinfeng again and again, Yu Shanxian could no longer control the anger in his heart. His face became extremely gloomy. Is that so? Yi Qinfeng showed a disdainful smile and asked coldly. All right, all of you shut up. Looking at the two who were at daggers drawn, the leader of the Sword Hall was enraged. He yelled out, I don't care what kind of grudges you have, but you have to remember that your enemies are the genius disciples of the Storm Valley and the Thunderbird Mountain. If you dare to rebel against me again, I will take away your qualification to enter the true spirit realm, so that you won't become a joke to others. Looking at the Sword Hall Master who was glaring at them, Yi Qinfeng and Yu Shanxian did not dare to speak again. They stood aside in silence. All right, everyone rest here and wait for the true spirit's secret realm to open. The Sword Hall Master glanced at Yi Qinfeng and Yu Shanxian with his sharp eyes and ordered coldly. Qinfeng, you are too reckless. I have already reminded you to be patient. Why didn't you listen? You are going against Yu Shanxian, giving him an excuse to get rid of you. Qian Daobai walked to Yi Qinfeng, who was sitting far away, and said helplessly, Palace Master, do you think it is useful for me to be patient? Yu Shanxian wants to deal with me. Even if I compromise, he will not let me go. Yi Qinfeng sat cross-legged on a piece of dry grass and said lightly, That's right. Instead of compromising, it is better to fight. I think junior brother Yi is right. Fu Yue, who was wearing a long black dress and looked like a dark elf, said, Sai, things are not as simple as you think. Do you know who the man wearing a long, dark golden robe beside Yu Shanxian is? He is the elder of the Yin Yang Hall, a level 5 heavenly beast immortal, Yu Mingzi. If something happens to Yu Shanxian in the true spirit secret realm, he can kill Qingfeng based on the conflict between Qingfeng and Yu Shanxian. Qian Daobai sighed softly. Yi Qinfeng knew that Qian Daobai was not exaggerating. If something happened to Yu Shanxian, he might be the target of the Yin Yang Hall's revenge. However, he had no way out. If Yu Shanxian did not know what was good for him, Yi Qinfeng would not be merciful. Shanxian, who is that brat? Do you have a grudge with him? A Yin Yang Hall disciple with a pointed face who looked similar to Yu Shanxian asked. Just a small fry. Yu Shanxian said gloomily. Do you need me to help you get rid of him? The pointy-faced man asked. No, I want to kill him myself. Yu Shanxian glanced at Yi Chunfeng, who was meditating with his eyes closed. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Chirp, chirp. When it was close to evening, several piercing bird chirps could be heard. For large golden birds cut through the dusk and quickly flew over. People from the Storm Valley. The Sword Hall Master glanced at the 4 large golden birds flying over quickly. He concealed the battle intent in his eyes and ignored them. Not long after the people from the Storm Valley arrived, more than 10 people from the Thunderbird Mountain also arrived at the Blackpool Swamp. They were stationed outside the entrance of the True Spirit's secret realm. The 3 sects seemed to have discussed it beforehand. They did not provoke each other and waited in silence for the secret realm to open. Just as everyone waited in silence for 2 days, endless red light suddenly shone from the red light that was getting thicker and thicker, illuminating the world. Slowly, a black hole appeared in the center of the red light. Chapter 126. The opportunity is right in front of you. Whether you can grasp it or not will depend on your abilities. If you can bring back a great opportunity from the True Spirit realm within a month, the Skyfire sect will reward you handsomely. The Sword Hall Master raised his head to look at the spatial black hole in the red light and said in a deep voice, "We won't disappoint the Hall Master." The 10 6th grade Earth Beast Generals of the Sky Fire sect promised in unison. You can go in now. Remember, no matter where you are teleported to, you must remain calm. Don't force yourself to obtain an opportunity that doesn't belong to you. Otherwise, you might lose your life. The Hall Master reminded them solemnly. Yes. As he spoke, the 10 genius disciples of the Storm Valley and the Thunderbird Mountain leaped into the air and flew into the spatial black hole. Let's go. Seeing the genius disciples of the 2 sects enter the True Spirit's secret realm first, Yu Shanxian and the other disciples of the Heavenly Fire sect merged with their spiritual beasts and flew into the black hole like arrows leaving their bows. Chungfeng, Yu, Fu Xian, be careful. I will wait here for your safe return. Qian Daobai looked at the 3 disciples he was most proud of and instructed them. Don't worry, Martial House Master. We will definitely come out alive. Lin Fu Xian said generously. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 leaped into the air and flew into the spatial black hole together with the genius disciples of the Storm Martial House and the Thunder Mountain Martial House. When Yi Chunfeng was approaching the spatial black hole at an extremely fast speed, Yi Koexin, who appeared beside him, revealed a strange smile. He suddenly sent out a palm strike towards Yi Chunfeng's chest. Yi Chunfeng did not panic when he was attacked by the eldest disciple of the Thunder Mountain Martial House. Instead, he threw out a punch to meet the attack. When Yi Chunfeng's fist collided with Yi Kursen's palm light, a force of more than 50,000 kilograms exploded, shattering Yi Kursen's palm light as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Yi Chunfeng's fist landed on his palm. Yi Kursen didn't expect Yi Chunfeng's physical strength to be so terrifying. In a moment of carelessness, he lost control of his body as he soared into the air. Under the shocked gazes of the 2 Thunder Mountain Martial House heads, he fell to the ground. After sending Yi Chunfeng flying away with a punch, Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and once again grew taller. He went through the black hole and entered the True Spirit's secret realm. What a dense forest! The white light in front of his eyes disappeared, and Yi Chunfeng found himself in a boundless, verdant mountain forest. The ancient trees here were all more than 30 meters tall. It would take more than 10 people to wrap their arms around them. Each ancient tree was more than 10,000 years old. Not far from him, there was a waterfall more than 1,000 meters high. It looked like the Milky Way was hanging upside down, pouring down from the sky. It was very spectacular. Is this True Spirit realm really an ancient ruin? Looking at the ancient forest in front of him and the magnificent waterfall, Yi Chunfeng felt a sense of vicissitudes. He took out the coiling dragon greatsword and walked towards the nearby waterfall. Yes, that is the water spirit fruit. When Yi Chunfeng arrived at the foot of the 1,000-meter-tall waterfall, he was surprised to find a 3-inch-long aqua blue blade of grass on the damp walls of the waterfall. In the center of the blade of grass, there was a deep blue fruit. Rays of fine, hair-like blue light shone from the fruit. The water spirit fruit was very rare in the outside world. It could not be bought without 50,000 low-grade spirit stones. Judging from the color of the water spirit fruit in front of him, this water spirit fruit was at least 5,000 years old. Its value was even higher than a normal spirit-level soul pellet. My luck is pretty good. I found a 5,000-year-old water spirit fruit the moment I was teleported into the true spirit secret realm. Yi Qinfeng smiled faintly as he bounced off the ground, intending to pick the water spirit fruit. However, as he approached the water spirit fruit in the air, his sharp senses suddenly sensed a strong sense of danger in the Milky Way-like waterfall. Without even thinking, he stabbed out his sword instinctively. With a thrust of the sword, a huge purple snake with a brightly colored body, the thickness of a water bucket, and a huge lump of flesh on its head drilled out of the waterfall. It collided heavily with the coiling dragon greatsword. The powerful force forcefully knocked Yi Qinfeng down into the waterfall, preventing him from plucking the water spirit fruit. Rank 6 Spirit Beast. Sensing the power of the purple snake, Yi Qinfeng looked a bit serious. A rank 6 spirit beast was equivalent to a rank 6 earth beast general, and this purple snake in front of him was not simple at all. As it evolved, the sarcoma on its head would most likely turn into a horn. By then, this purple snake would turn into a flood dragon. The true spirit secret realm is full of opportunities, but it is not easy to get them. Without a certain level of power, even if you run into them, you'll not be able to get them. Yi Qinfeng murmured to himself. His pupils shrunk as he looked at the purple snake. Waves of cold qi were emitted from his body. Without any outsiders around, Yi Qinfeng used his trump card, the profound frost spirit water, to deal with this purple snake in front of him without any hesitation. Profound frost spirit water, freeze! Yi Qinfeng shouted. A bone-chilling cold qi was emitted from his body and poured into the Milky Way like waterfall. In the blink of an eye, the waterfall was frozen into an ice waterfall, and the huge body of the purple snake was frozen as well. Killing sword art, flowing cloud pierce. The moment the purple snake was frozen by the ice waterfall, Yi Qinfeng suddenly waved his coiling dragon greatsword. An extremely fast-spinning sword light was shot out and hacked at the purple snake's weak point. A huge amount of blood spurted out like a fountain. This, with its weak point pierced, the purple snake screamed in pain. The explosive power in its body directly tore apart the ice waterfall. It opened its bloody mouth and bit towards Yi Qinfeng. The spirit beasts in the true spirit secret realm are indeed much more terrifying than those in the outside world. Yi Qinfeng saw that the purple snake's weak point had been pierced, but it was still able to explode with such an astonishing power. He was slightly surprised. Sword Force second layer. Wind Shadow Chop. The purple snake turned into a purple light and attacked. Yi Qinfeng's body immediately gushed out the second layer Sword Force, which merged with the coiling dragon greatsword. With a slash of the sword, a sword light pierced through the air and slashed at the purple snake's head. The disgusting sarcoma was split open, and its head was split in half. The 30-meter-long giant body fell heavily on the ground, creating a huge pit. After struggling for half an incense stick's worth of time, the purple snake finally died. After killing the purple snake with all his strength, Yi Qinfeng immediately took out his invincible broken sword and cut off the purple snake's tough skin that was covered with scales. He also cut off a few big pieces of the snake's flesh as rations. After that, he picked the water spirit fruit and quickly left. As Yi Qinfeng continued to go deeper into the forest, he was ambushed by dozens of powerful spirit beasts. Among them, he even met a level 8 spirit beast that was comparable to a level 3 heavenly beast immortal. He was so scared that he used his shape-shifting phantom and fled in panic. Too scary. This true spirit secret realm is too scary. There are even level 8 spirit beasts. I wonder if there are any heavenly beasts in the deepest part of this ancient forest. Recalling the scene where he was chased by the level 8 spirit beast, Yi Chunfeng still had lingering fear. He was even more in awe of the true spirit secret realm. About 3 days later, Yi Chunfeng found a broken body under a 5-meter-tall boulder. Beside the body, there was a fiery red war blade with a red gem embedded in the hilt. Upper-grade spirit weapon. Looking at the war blade in front of him, Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. Although he didn't use a blade, if he sold this fiery red war blade outside, he could get a lot of lower-grade soul crystals. This war blade is mine. If you don't want to die, then get the hell out of here. Just as Yi Chunfeng stepped forward and was about to put the fiery red war blade into his Chinquan bag, a cold voice came into his ears.